Chapter 529. With his control of the situation, Zhao Feng quickly pushed Yu Tianhao into a dangerous situation. This was something that hadn't happened in the past two sacred true dragon gatherings. However, being the current overwhelming prodigies, their existence was a miracle. The deputy patriarch has the upper hand. The crowd below held their breaths as excitement flashed through their eyes. The power of the purple destruction wind lightning is indeed strong. Zhao Feng floated in the air as his blue robe flapped in the wind. After 3 to 4 months of seclusion, his comprehension of the purple destruction wind lightning destruction had increased by leaps and bounds. The purple destruction, wind lightning destruction, and the wind lightning eye flame both contained the power of purple wind lightning and used it as the core. The final power had toppled the world's understanding. With Zhao Feng's early-stage true lord rank cultivation, any one of these two moves could heavily injure or even kill a half-step origin core realm. On the other side. Boom! In just a breath's time, Yu Tianhao's injuries became bigger. The attack of the wind lightning eye flame had pierced through both the mental energy and physical dimensions. Because it had merged the power of the purple destruction wind lightning, its destructive power was shocking. Both Yu Tianhao's soul and body had been injured. This was only because he had incredible mental energy intent. If it was someone else at the same level as him, their soul would have been heavily injured by Zhao Feng already. If this continues, Yu Tianhao will most likely lose. Zhao Feng's improvement is shocking. The eyes of the two sovereigns lit up. The advantage Zhao Feng had now wasn't just his own strength, but his control over the situation, etc. Zhao Feng. You didn't disappoint me. The black-haired youth in the wind lightning eye flame's bloodline started to burn. With the naked eye, one could only see a layer of ancient and mysterious, cold and faint shadow, in the shape of a human figure, overlapping with Yu Tianhao's body. Suddenly, Yu Tianhao's body emitted a dim but beautiful light that was blinding to the eyes. His body ignited a spiritual battle intent that shot into the sky. The cold figure could only be sensed through mental energy and overlapped with Yu Tianhao. The two were one. Destroy. Yu Tianhao's arms shook, overlapping with his icy cold faint shadow. His movements were exactly the same, as if he was possessed by the god of war. Each and every one of his movements was filled with an unparalleled spiritual battle will, destroying all gods and ghosts in the heavens and annihilating all void forces. With a whoosh, the power from the wind lightning eye flame shattered. Unparalleled in the world. Yu Tianhao seemed to be possessed by a god of war as he struck out with his palm. A mysterious and magnificent palm light traversed the heavens and the earth, and the might of the heaven and earth yuan qi that was triggered by the palm was almost twice as strong as before. Moreover, that attack contained a terrifying battle intent. It was as if it had materialized and impacted one's soul and mental state. That palm strike could be said to shock the heavens and the earth, and it was as if it was executed by a completely different person. Zhao Feng's mind was shaken, and a trace of shock appeared on his face. Before the attack arrived, the burning fighting will was like a huge wave, battering his mind and mind. Luckily, Zhao Feng's soul was extremely strong. Normal peak true lord ranks or even half-step origin core realms would have collapsed. Purple destruction, wind lightning destruction. Zhao Feng took a deep breath as a faint purple core appeared in his palm. It was surrounded by azure wind and lightning and shot out a purple and azure beam of light that contained a forbidden aura. Bang! Like a landslide, the two extreme forces collided with each other. Yu Tianhao's, unparalleled in the world, seemed to have the upper hand in this clash, and his palm shot towards Zhao Feng. When Zhao Feng reacted extremely quickly, a barrier of water as deep as the sea appearing on his body to block the shockwaves of that powerful attack. However, even then, his figure was pushed back dozens of yards. He's clearly injured, so how did his battle power suddenly increase so much? Zhao Feng's breathing was hurried. He opened his god's spirit eye and saw through Yu Tianhao. The icy shadows that overlapped on Yu Tianhao's body originated from a mysterious bloodline that was stimulated by his strong fighting spirit. This bloodline was connected to the mental energy and was ethereal. Even Zhao Feng's god's spiritual eye couldn't see through it, much less copy battle skills. Unparalleled heaven battling bloodline. Patriarch Hong and Dao's sovereign Baiyun exclaimed at the same time. At this moment, Yu Tianhao's bloodline power had been activated, and his battle power rose dramatically. It was as if he had been possessed by the god of war. Yu Tianhao's every move contained a mental battle intent that could suppress experts below the primal core realm. Furthermore, that mysterious bloodline power had an incredible amplification effect on one's battle skills and intents. Unparalleled secret technique, chaotic dance of spring and autumn. Yu Tianhao's black hair blew in the wind, and a bright light covered his body, as if he was wearing the armor of the god of war. At this instant, both his offense and defense had increased dramatically. Pang! As Yu Tianhao's fists and palms blasted out, a series of enormous fist lights and palm shadows appeared. Each palm strike contained an unparalleled spiritual battle intent, crushing everything in its path. He's possessed by the god of war. Tianma, Jiang Sanfeng, and company were stunned. The hearts of those from the Iron Blood religion rose to their throats. Everyone could only watch as Yu Tianhao turned the situation around and forced Xiao Feng back again and again with a domineering aura. A few breaths later. Tang! 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 Xiao Feng retreated, and the water barrier around him dimmed by more than half. Even if he circulated the power of the purple wind lightning to the maximum, he could only barely clash with Yu Tianhao. Wings of wind and lightning. Zhao Feng's eyes dimmed, and a faint purple light flashed from the core of his source of true spirit. Faint purple chains formed the skeleton, and the azure wind lightning formed the wings, forming a pair of wings of wind and lightning that were even brighter than before. Pa! Pa! As the wings of wind and lightning flapped, the power of wind and lightning within a 10-mile radius was pulled towards him. In a short instant, Zhao Feng turned into a blurry afterimage, and his speed once again surpassed Yu Tianhao's. After merging with the purple wind and lightning, the wings of wind and lightning became even stronger, and it even strengthened Xiao Feng's ability to summon wind and lightning. Shua! The afterimages of the wind and lightning created a series of afterimages as they shuttled back and forth between the clouds. Zhao Feng's speed wasn't only fast, but it also contained the Tao of illusion. This originated from his mental energy illusion and had nothing to do with the wind-lightning tablet inheritance. Even someone as strong as Yu Tianhao with the unparalleled heaven-battling bloodline couldn't keep up with Xiao Feng's speed. Although the unparalleled heaven-battling bloodline was strong, it mainly increased offense, mental energy, and defense. In terms of speed, it didn't increase much. Unparalleled. Yu Tianhao once again executed that strike that seemed to swallow the sun and moon in the sky. The dazzling and mysterious enormous palm of light was coiled with strands of icy cold crystalline brilliance, and it reflected the vast energy of the heavens and the earth, causing everything to shatter everywhere it passed. However, this time, his attack didn't hit Zhao Feng directly. With the support of the wings of wind and lightning, Zhao Feng's speed and agility increased dramatically. The power of his moves also increased. Furthermore, his god's spiritual eye also had a strong prediction ability. Wind lightning eye flame. Purple destruction, wind lightning destruction. Purple destruction, claw of wind and lightning. Zhao Feng dodged and unleashed fierce attacks at the same time. Long-range eye bloodline techniques. AoE techniques, close combat killing moves. Zhao Feng's attacks came one after another. Whoosh! Everyone could only see two figures shuttling through the clouds, locked in a fierce battle. Those from the Iron Blood religion were dazzled. Sometimes, they couldn't even see what was going on. However, one thing was certain. The battle had entered a stalemate. The battle between the two overwhelming prodigies had their own strengths and weaknesses. It was hard to tell who would win in a short amount of time. In terms of true battle power, Yu Tianhao has the obvious advantage, but Zhao Feng's control of the situation is too strong. This is the advantage his I bloodline gives him. Furthermore, he has the advantage in terms of speed. Dao Sovereign Bai Yun sighed. That's right. Yu Tianhao has activated his unparalleled heaven battling bloodline and should be unparalleled amongst those of the same cultivation. However, Zhao Feng is also an anomaly. He's forced Yu Tianhao to this point and still has the upper hand. Patriarch Hong sighed. This battle had established the unparalleled status of the two overwhelming prodigies. It was destined that no genius would be able to match up to them in dozens of generations. In the clouds. Divine light of destruction. Zhao Feng's left eye shot out a dazzling azure light that pierced through the clouds and sliced through everything. Isn't this the Golden Sun family's I bloodline technique? The two sovereigns were slightly dazed. The divine light of destruction was said to be able to analyze all techniques. This time, the divine light of destruction that Zhao Feng had used was the complete version. It split the physical and mental energy at the same time in order to deal with Yu Tianhao, who was almost unparalleled. Shua! The azure-colored rainbow struck Yu Tianhao, quickly cutting through his defenses. However, what disappointed Zhao Feng was that the cold shadow that had merged with Yu Tianhao wasn't affected. It only weakened the physical and mental energy attacks. The cold shadow was a form of bloodline power, and its form couldn't be estimated. This was similar to Zhao Feng's Eye of Heaven. Unparalleled secret technique, chaotic dance of spring and autumn. The activation of Yu Tianhao's bloodline became stronger and stronger. Every punch and palm contained unparalleled mental energy and battle intent that attacked Zhao Feng's mind and level. If it wasn't for the fact that Zhao Feng had the god's spiritual eye and his soul was as strong as a sovereign's, even if he wasn't injured, his battle intent would be worn out and he would lose. Yu Tianhao's battle power is becoming stronger and stronger. Is there no limit to his bloodline activation? Zhao Feng's expression became solemn. Logically speaking, there should be a limit to the improvement of any bloodline's secret skill, and there might even be a price to pay. However, Yu Tianhao became stronger the more he fought. His bloodline was born for battle. Looks like I need to use the Earth-grade divine weapon Shadow in order to win against Yu Tianhao. Zhao Feng's eyes twinkled. When he thought to this point, his left eye turned dark blue, and the ripples on his body turned into a cold light of an ice wolf. Ice Imperial Spear, appear. Zhao Feng took a deep breath and circulated his bloodline power. A half-transparent ice-blue spear shadow appeared in his palm. The shape of the spear was clearer than last time. An indescribably terrifying chill seeped into the area and froze it. The surrounding heaven-earth yuan qi and all living things instantly froze. Peng Yu Tianhao's attack was instantly frozen when it got close. It was like a burning flame that dimmed and extinguished. Chapter 530. The moment the figure of the Earth-grade weapon appeared, the tide of the battle turned. See! Crack! The illusory icy blue light spear glowed with a dazzling crystalline light. With a single sweep, everything in the world froze, turning from hard to brittle. Soon after layer fell off, transforming into countless ice shards and powder. Figure of an Earth-grade weapon. Zhao Feng has a piece of an Earth-grade weapon. The two martial sovereigns were shocked. There didn't seem to be a complete Earth-grade weapon in the Azure Flower continent. A portion of the sovereigns had pieces of Earth-grade weapons, and a small number of them had complete parts. At this point in time, a piece of an Earth-grade weapon had appeared in the hands of the overwhelming prodigy. This was obviously shocking. As for a complete Earth-grade weapon, the two sovereigns couldn't imagine it. Break! Zhao Feng circulated his bloodline power and used a portion of the Ice Imperial Spear's aura to create the effect of a broken Earth-grade weapon. Yu Tianhao's expression changed dramatically. No matter how strong his skill was, it was instantly shattered by Zhao Feng's coldness. Peng! His bloodline froze as he was pushed back dozens of yards by the powerful aura of the Earth-grade weapon. Zhao Feng didn't immediately chase after him because the power of an Earth-grade weapon was too terrifying. If he didn't control it, it could easily kill normal half-step origin core realms. Thinking back in the 100 Graves Forbidden Ground, Zhao Feng had used the figure of the Earth-grade weapon to beat the skeletal division leader to the point where it couldn't fight back at all. Now that Zhao Feng had become stronger in every aspect, the power of his Earth-grade weapon was even stronger than before. A piece of an Earth-grade weapon. Yu Tianhao's battle intent didn't fade as he snickered coldly and grabbed at the air. Shua! A 3-inch-long broken sword hilt appeared in his hand, condensing into a resounding broken sword shadow. In a split second, a king's might of the sword Dao deterred everyone present. Sword hilt. A piece of an Earth-grade weapon. Zhao Feng paused. The Ice Imperial Spear that he had obtained could be considered complete. It was slightly different from these fragments. Of course, Zhao Feng couldn't use the entire Ice Imperial Spear. He could only use a portion of it, which was equivalent to using an Earth-grade divine armament fragment. This broken sword hilt was probably the weapon of a Void God Realm King when it was complete. That terrifying aura made the hearts of the two supremacies tremble. Unparalleled in the world. Yu Tianhao and the overlapping cold shadow moved at the same time. The broken sword hilt sent out an Earth-grade sword shadow, which shone with a brilliant light and attacked Zhao Feng. Meanwhile, Zhao Feng activated a beautiful ice crystal blue spear image. Wind and lightning revolved around it, and purple streams darted about as it ruthlessly swept over. Ding! Hiss! Two different types of Earth-ranked divine weapons clashed against each other. A terrifying aura instantly froze this entire space. Sparks flew, and a small hole appeared in Zhao Feng's ice blue spear shadow. But in the next instant, the terrifying cold power instantly froze Yu Tianhao's broken sword light. The auras of the two Earth-grade divine weapons intertwined with each other and created ripples of forbidden power. Blood leaked out of the mouths of both Zhao Feng and Yu Tianhao. The difference was, the injuries on Zhao Feng's body started to heal bit by bit under the nourishment of his bloodline power. After all, this was an injury caused by the aura of an Earth-grade divine weapon, and there would be an invisible resistance that stopped the recovery. Yu Tianhao's situation was slightly worse. The recovery speed of the injuries on his body was half as slow. This was under the effect of his unparalleled heaven-battling bloodline, which gave him shocking defense and extraordinary recovery speed. Not good. If this continues, our lives will be in danger. The expressions of the two sovereigns changed dramatically. This was because the power that the two overwhelming prodigies controlled had exceeded their limits, and they could even threaten sovereigns. Stop! A clear voice sounded from the clouds in the distance, and the Heaven-Earth Yuan Qi surged like a flood, forming an invisible pressure that suppressed everything within dozens of miles. When the voice sounded, Dao's sovereign Baiyun and Patriarch Hang's hearts shook, and they felt an unknown pressure. Whoosh! A handsome man descended between Zhao Feng and Yu Tianhao amidst the raging Yuan Qi tide. Sovereign Yu Xingqian. Patriarch Hang blurted out as he recognized the newcomer. Open! Yu Xingqian slowly waved his hand, and a beautiful, translucent palm appeared. It gradually grew larger, and from top to bottom, it forcefully wrapped around the power of the two Earth-grade divine weapon phantoms. Bam bam! The two prodigy kings were knocked half a mile away by a combination of hard and soft power. Zhao Feng's blood churned, and he almost spat out a mouthful of blood. When he looked closely, the forbidden power created by the collision of the two Earth-grade divine weapon shadows was temporarily trapped by Yu Xingqian and was slowly being worn down. A few breaths later. Poof! The forbidden power created by the collision was completely destroyed by Yu Xingqian. Yu Xingqian let out a sigh of relief before glaring fiercely at Yu Tianhao. You really are audacious. Do you think you can bear the consequences of using the unparalleled heaven-battling bloodline without restraint? Yu Tianhao was silent. However, his mental energy and battle intent started to fade, and he was like a dead tree. Obviously. The unparalleled heaven-battling bloodline had side effects after using it. Once this bloodline was used too much, there seemed to be even more terrifying consequences. How can a true Lord rank use a broken Earth-grade weapon? If I didn't arrive in time, your lives would have been in danger. Yu Xingqian calmed his aura and scanned over Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng didn't deny it, but fear was still on his face. If it was just the power of a broken Earth-grade weapon, he could barely control it. However, if the auras of two Earth-grade divine weapons clashed with each other, the resulting backlash would be something that even venerables would choose to avoid. Yu Xingqian, luckily you arrived in time. Patriarch Hong let out a long breath. Although the two sovereigns could stop Zhao Feng and Yu Tianhao's Earth-grade weapons, they couldn't guarantee that the two overwhelming prodigies wouldn't be injured. However, Sovereign Yu Xingqian had this ability. He forcefully controlled the power of the Earth-grade weapons and destroyed it so that Zhao Feng and Yu Tianhao wouldn't be injured. Yu Xingqian's expression softened as he greeted the two sovereigns. However, he didn't stay for long. Tianhao, there's not much time left. Let's go. This chance only comes once every 20 years. Yu Xingqian's expression tightened as he placed his hand on his son's shoulder. Okay. Yu Tianhao nodded his head. His expression was slightly weak and his blood was weak. Before they left, he glanced at Zhao Feng and said in a low tone, I didn't expect to meet such a strong opponent before leaving the Azure Flower Continent. Zhao Feng was surprised. It wasn't hard to guess that Yu Tianhao was determined to win this battle. Before the battle, Yu Tianhao never thought that he wouldn't win. In the entire continent, you are also my only opponent. Zhao Feng nodded his head faintly. Yu Tianhao's strength had also exceeded Zhao Feng's expectations. Before using the Earth-grade weapon, he could only fight Yu Tianhao to a standstill. Even if he used the aura of the Earth-grade weapon, he wouldn't be able to win. However, after this battle, we'll fight again. Maybe in 5 years, 10 years, or even longer. Yu Tianhao's aura was extremely dim. 5 years, 10 years, or even longer. Zhao Feng paused. Yu Tianhao seemed to want to leave the Azure Flower Continent, and the place he wanted to go was extremely far. Why don't we make a deal? Let's fight again in 10 years. Yu Tianhao was so tired that he couldn't even open his eyes. The side effects of overusing the unparalleled heaven-battling bloodline were battering at his mind and consciousness. Okay, 10 years. Zhao Feng nodded his head. He also understood that after reaching the true Lord rank, the increase in strength would become slower and slower. Every bottleneck would take dozens of years. For the future, 10 years wasn't that long. Let's go. Yu Xingqian interrupted their conversation. Dragging Yu Tianhao, he turned into a beautiful shadow and disappeared into the clouds in a few breaths of time. A while later, Yu Xingqian dragged Yu Tianhao and flew several hundred miles away. Father, if you didn't stop me, would I have been the final winner? Yu Tianhao's eyelids twitched. In theory, the unparalleled heaven-battling bloodline can be used indefinitely and increase one's battle power through battle. If you keep fighting, your chances of winning will be higher. Sovereign Yu Xingqian didn't deny it. If Zhao Feng was here and heard this, he would be stunned. There was such a terrifying bloodline in the world that could be used indefinitely and increase one's battle power. Hearing this, a smile appeared on Yu Tianhao's face, as if he was happy that his father had acknowledged him. However, Yu Xingqian's tone changed. If you use the unparalleled heaven-battling bloodline too much, it's very likely that you'll win or die. On the other hand, even if Zhao Feng loses, he can live. Father. Yu Tianhao's expression changed slightly. Therefore, the final winner is Zhao Feng. Yu Xingqian snorted coldly. Hearing this, Yu Tianhao didn't seem to accept it. However, his father's next words made him speechless. Throughout history, regardless of victory or defeat, the one who can live to the end and laugh is the true winner. Yu Tianhao fell into deep thought. The unparalleled heaven-battling bloodline could, in theory, be used indefinitely before one's soul and life force was used up. This was heaven-defying. But the consequence was that one had to pay an equal price after the battle. Simply put, how much you overdraft, you had to pay back after the battle. This was the principle of balance. Looking at Yu Tianhao and Zhao Feng's battle. If Yu Tianhao won in the end, the overdraft of his soul and body would very likely cause him to die. Because Zhao Feng's bloodline recovery was too strong, and his speed was a level higher, it was almost impossible to defeat him in a short amount of time. If Yu Tianhao wanted to win, he had to pay the price of death. Tianhao, don't force it. Go to sleep as soon as possible. Leave the rest of the journey to me. A trace of affection appeared between Yu Xingqian's brows. He carried the gradually falling asleep Yu Tianhao on his back and tried to fly as steadily as possible. In reality, Yu Xingqian had been watching the battle from afar, watching the majority of the battle from afar. In the end, Zhao Feng and Yu Tianhao ended in a draw. For Yu Xingqian, this was the most ideal situation. Because Yu Tianhao's path of growth had been too smooth. He needed a strong opponent to sharpen his mind and prevent his confidence from inflating. As a father, Yu Xingqian was very thoughtful. But what he didn't know was that this kind of tempering was also applied to Zhao Feng. Chapter 531. Above the Clouds. Zhao Feng sent off Yu Xingqian and his father with a solemn expression. After returning from the inheritance, his strength had increased again and again. His cultivation, intent, soul power, bloodline, and other aspects had all increased. In the last year, he had even comprehended a few wisps of the purple destruction wind lightning. With this kind of battle power, he was invincible against anyone under the origin core realm. However, today's battle made the arrogance and pride in his heart disappear. There's always someone better. Who knows how many powerful bloodline geniuses there are in this world? I'm just standing at the peak of the Azure Flower Continent. The light in Zhao Feng's eyes was unwavering. Only by continuously improving and opening up one's own potential could one surpass those miraculous legends. Zhao Feng, how are your injuries? Patriarch Hong and Tiamat flew through the air. They were already thankful that there weren't any casualties in the battle just now between Zhao Feng and Yu Tianhao. I'm fine. Zhao Feng had a smile on his face as a warm blue water started to circulate around his body, cleansing his organs and moisturizing his body. From the end of the battle until now, his injuries had mostly recovered. Patriarch Hong and Tiamat looked at each other and couldn't help but be surprised. In a true battle, Zhao Feng had the biggest advantage. At the very least, he would be able to survive longer. After this battle, Zhao Feng returned to normal and took up the position of Deputy Patriarch of the Iron Blood religion. However, compared to Tiamat, this Deputy Patriarch position was much more relaxed and free. He didn't have many opportunities to manage the Iron Blood religion. Furthermore, in the current Canopy Great Country, the Iron Blood religion ruled over everything. Almost all the forces in the world submitted to them. At least on the surface, no force dared to challenge the Iron Blood religion. This way, most of Zhao Feng's time could be spent on comprehension and cultivation. He started to organize and perfect his bloodline. Right now, as he cultivated his bloodline's power was becoming more condensed and condensed. However, due to the limitations of his current level, Zhao Feng couldn't make much progress in his bloodline techniques. I've basically learned all 3 bloodline techniques on the continent. Zhao Feng finally discovered a limitation. In the Azure Flower Continent, it was difficult for him to learn new bloodline arts. Of course, his focus was still the inheritance of the Wind Thunder Tablet. His comprehension of the Purple Tempest Lightning had already reached 10%. 1/10 seemed like a small amount. In reality, the Purple Destruction, Wind Lightning secret technique that Zhao Feng used could already kill ordinary half-step primal core realms. Besides, Zhao Feng didn't slack off in his cultivation of the Ice Imperial Spear. The Ice Imperial Spear was an Earth-grade inheritance divine weapon. The more Zhao Feng comprehended it, the stronger the Earth-grade inheritance divine weapon's aura would be. But at the moment, Zhao Feng didn't dare to use the Ice Imperial Spear. In theory, his soul power was comparable to a sovereign's, and his mental energy wasn't weaker than normal half-step sovereigns either. It wasn't impossible for him to use the Ice Imperial Spear. However, it was a relatively complete Earth-rank divine weapon, and an inherited one at that. If it was exposed easily, it would be too shocking. Therefore, Zhao Feng didn't dare to try it right now. In the blink of an eye, half a year passed. In this half a year, Zhao Feng had consolidated and improved in many aspects, but due to the limitations of the Azure Flower continent, he didn't have any obvious breakthroughs. Master, we've used up most of the resources we've gathered in the past half a year. The skeletal division leader's voice sounded through the dark heart seed. How's the progress? Zhao Feng's consciousness entered the 10,000 ghost pearl. Inside the myriad ghost pearl, the dark, damp soil was shrouded in ghostly mist and yin qi. In one area, 5 true Lord rank ghost corpses stood in a row. Their auras were mostly at the early stage or late stage true Lord ranks. These 5 true Lord rank ghost corpses were mainly made from the cursed corpses from the 100 Graves Forbidden Ground, so their auras were different from normal ghost corpses. Zhao Feng's 2 dark silver ghost corpses were in another corner. Their auras were close to the late-stage True Lord rank, but adding on the corpse poison from those below the Origin Core realm, they couldn't be measured by normal standards. This meant that Zhao Feng now had a total of 7 True Lord rank ghost corpses. If others knew about this, who knew how shocked they would be? One had to know. The 4 major families of the Canopy Great Country only had 5 or 6 True Lord ranks. The 100 corpse plan is only 5% complete. Zhao Feng's eyebrows furrowed as if he wasn't satisfied. His 2 dark silver ghost corpses weren't part of the 100 corpse plan. Master, it's not a problem of my refining speed anymore. It's just that resources are getting more and more scarce. The skeletal division leader smiled bitterly. Zhao Feng didn't doubt it. He already had the main material to refine true Lord rank ghost corpses. However, the other resources were also extremely rare in the Azure Flower continent. Even though he used the Iron Blood religion's power and attended some high-class auctions, he still didn't have enough resources. I'll find a way to get more resources in the future. Oh right, how's your strength? Zhao Feng's tone changed. Within the 10,000 Ghost Pearl, the skeletal division leader's aura wasn't much different from a true sovereign. I've recovered 60 to 70% of my battle power and can barely fight against normal sovereigns for a while. If I meet a powerful sovereign like Yu Xingqian, I probably won't be able to last more than a few moves. The skeletal division leader replied. Hearing this, Zhao Feng was satisfied. The skeletal division leader's strength had surpassed the half-step Origin Core realm after recovering 60 to 70% of its battle power. If he didn't use his Earth-grade weapon, it would be hard for Zhao Feng to beat the skeletal division leader in a head-on battle. Time flew by and another 2 to 3 months passed. At this moment, Zhao Feng's 100 Ghost Corpse plan had barely reached 6%, and he had a total of 6 True Lord rank Ghost Corpses. Unfortunately, I don't have enough resources. Otherwise, if I gathered more than 10 True Lord rank Ghost Corpses, I'd be able to recreate the Ghost Corpse cursed array. Once I gather 50, I'll be able to greatly restrict a sovereign's strength. If I gather 100, I might even be able to threaten a sovereign's life. The skeletal division leader said regretfully. 2 dark red flames flickered in his eye sockets. He was curious as to what other methods Zhao Feng had to obtain the remaining resources. At least with the Azure Flower continent's current situation, it would take at least 100 years for Zhao Feng to create 100 Ghost Corpse core. Zhao Feng kept his mouth shut about this secret, not revealing a single thing. On this day, Zhao Feng once again stood up and headed towards the purple rising great country in the northern continent to attend a large auction. According to the information, there were some resources that Zhao Feng urgently needed in this auction. In the wilderness, in front of them was a vast and complicated mountain range. Chio! Zhao Feng turned into a bolt of lightning as he flew through the mountains with extreme speed. If it was a normal True Lord rank, it would be pretty good if they could fly several thousand miles. On the other hand, Zhao Feng's Heaven-Earth Yuan Qi was almost 10 times stronger than normal True Lord ranks due to his strong intent and soul. At his level, even some half-step sovereigns could fly for a long time. It wasn't hard for them to travel several tens of thousands of miles. At a certain moment, a 1,000-yard-tall mountain appeared in his vision that pierced through the clouds and covered a radius of several hundred miles. This Pangyun Sky Peak is an important symbol for entering the purple rising great country from the south and can see several thousand miles. Zhao Feng had a map in his mind. Such a huge mountain was even marked on the map of the continent. Suddenly, Zhao Feng's left eye twitched as he looked toward the top of the Pangyun Sky Peak. In reality, the middle of the heavenly cloud peak was already shrouded in clouds and mist. Who's there? Zhao Feng felt a cold energy penetrating his soul. Even with his cultivation and soul power, he still felt uneasy. He was just about to use his god's spiritual eye. Three-eyed divine light. A beam of light as dazzling as the sun, carrying with it a flame that could incinerate all things, shot through the air like a blazing meteor toward Zhao Feng. It's you, the three-eyed saint. Zhao Feng's left eye instantly shot out a cold beam of light that easily shattered the three-eyed divine light. A golden-haired youth appeared in the clouds. It was the three-eyed saint. Zhao Feng obviously didn't put a measly three-eyed saint in his eyes. However, his expression was solemn as his eyes pierced through the clouds. An icy power that could freeze the world seemed to surge out from nature, covering the sky and earth. In that instant, Zhao Feng seemed to have entered the extreme north ice zone. Mystic Ice Queen. Zhao Feng's heart went cold and his expression changed slightly. In his field of vision, a white-robed beauty wearing an ice crown and holding an ice bone scepter descended from the sky, looking like an ice queen. The Mystic Ice Queen seemed to be at the center of the Heaven-Earth Yuan Qi. The power of an origin core sovereign seemed to come from nature and spread across dozens of miles. Sizzle, water droplets in the air turned to ice, and frost started to form within 10 miles. Zhao Feng's blood showed signs of freezing, and this was under the premise that his bloodline could absorb the coldness. Sheng Tian, watch from the side and use your sacred eye bloodline to lock onto Zhao Feng. The Mystic Ice Queen's eyes were filled with killing intent, but she didn't hesitate and ordered the three-eyed saint. Before trying to kill Zhao Feng, the Mystic Ice Queen had thought about Zhao Feng's wings of wind and lightning. Maybe he had some way to escape. Mystic Ice Queen, you're indeed unwilling to give up and want to take revenge for the three-eyed saint. Zhao Feng's expression was solemn. This was the first time he had to face an Origin Core realm sovereign alone. Zhao Feng. If you're willing to hand over the unknown inheritance, I might let you live. The Mystic Ice Queen waved her hand, and the air of ice howled. A ring of cold wind that was 1 to 2 miles wide descended from the sky and trapped the area Zhao Feng was in. The power of the cold wind was enough to rip apart normal True Lord ranks within its range. Even if this move couldn't kill Zhao Feng, it would still restrict him. Let me live. Mystic Ice Queen. Three-eyed saint, if you stop now, you still have a chance. Zhao Feng laughed coldly. Shameless. The Mystic Ice Queen pointed out with her finger and the 2-mile-wide circle of cold wind started to close in on Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng, you only have yourself to blame. On the other side, the three-eyed saint activated his sacred eye bloodline and locked onto the area Zhao Feng was in. He didn't want to kill Zhao Feng, he just wanted to restrict Zhao Feng's movements. Chapter 532. On one side was a sovereign descending from the sky, and on the other side was the three-eyed saint's all-out attack. In this situation, even if Zhao Feng used the wings of wind and lightning, he wouldn't be able to escape. However, Zhao Feng didn't seem to have any intentions of dodging. A dark mist appeared in front of Zhao Feng. A human-shaped skeleton suddenly appeared in the mist. Its bones were gold and silver, and two balls of red flames danced in its eye sockets. That's... The mystic Ice Queen's heart shook when she saw the gold and silver skeleton's eye sockets. A corrosive mental energy aura swept over, and even the mystic Ice Queen, who was at the origin core realm, felt uncomfortable. After all, the skeletal division leader was a sovereign that specialized in mental energy. If it was at its peak, it would be able to kill sovereigns of the same cultivation. At this point in time, Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader each faced off against the Ring of Cold Wind. Zhe. An inheritance technique of the Mystic Ice Palace. The skeletal division leader laughed as a gold and silver bone whip appeared in its hand. With a flick of it, waves of purple and red flames appeared, making it seem like a dancing bone dragon. Boom! The Ring of Cold Wind was instantly shattered by the skeletal division leader's gold and silver bone whip. However, the Mystic Ice Queen's Ring of Cold Wind was a long-range attack that continuously sucked away the Heaven-Earth Yuan Qi. The Ring of Cold Wind wouldn't be destroyed so easily. Purple destruction, wind lightning destruction. Facing an origin core realm sovereign, Zhao Feng didn't dare to hold back. A faint purple core appeared in his palm and was surrounded by azure wind and lightning. It released a beam of purple and azure light that contained a forbidden aura. Whoosh! The purple azure beam of light carried a ring-shaped tornado of wind and lightning, and it emitted a destructive aura that destroyed the icy cold wind that neared it. At this point in time, with the help of Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader, they managed to block the sovereign's attack. The skeletal division leader had recovered 60 to 70% of its battle power, so it didn't feel much pressure blocking only half of the attacks. It waved its gold and silver bone whip and sent out flaming bone dragons. Even if some of it landed on the skeletal division leader, it wouldn't matter. The skeletal division leader's gold and silver bones were comparable to bone cultivators of the same cultivation. Even at this point in time, it could block 60 to 70% of the damage from normal sovereigns. In comparison, Zhao Feng urged the purple destruction wind lightning power Upanishad to the limit to resolve the other half of the attack. However, his body was being eroded by the cold power. Gurgle. Fortunately, he activated the power of his bloodline and switched between ice and water, which allowed him to absorb the cold energy and heal his injuries. Zhao Feng couldn't help but sigh. There was still a gap between him and the skeletal division leader. So it's an injured supremacy. The Mystic Ice Queen snickered coldly in the air. She pressed her hand down, and an enormous mountain of ice appeared. It was 100 yards wide and gave off a cold aura. In the process of the ice-light mountain shadow pressing down, the void and the earth faintly shook, as if the power of a natural glacier collapse was not something that could be resisted by humans. Not good. The expressions of Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader changed dramatically. The attacks of those at the origin core realm became the center of the Heaven-Earth Yuan Qi and merged with the power of nature. Zhao Feng's breathing stopped as he felt that the mountain seemed to contain the limitless power of nature. The area he was in seemed to be sealed off. Furthermore, the three-eyed saint was still harassing him. Bang! The 100-meter-wide ice-light mountain shadow was like a natural glacier collapsing. The terrifying energy and cold energy surged out, causing the two people below to sway. The skeletal division leader was barely able to block it, but Zhao Feng almost spat out a mouthful of blood. At the critical moment, Zhao Feng's god's spiritual eye turned into a bone-chilling pond. Wang Zhao Feng's blue hair blew in the wind as a tall figure appeared behind him. It had a crown on its head and a giant black sword in its hand. Below it was a throne of ice. Instantly, everything that got close to Zhao Feng was absorbed by the figure and the throne. However, even then, Zhao Feng could only dissolve the coldness coming from the mountain. The ice-light mountain contained the power of nature, and it could instantly turn a half-step origin core realm into ice shards. Right at this critical moment, three-eyed divine light, golden crow world incineration. In the distance, the three-eyed saint's third eye was like a blazing sun. Boom! A three-legged flaming bird in the shape of a golden crow turned into a blazing sun that shot toward Zhao Feng. The three-eyed saint's hatred for Zhao Feng could be said to be irreconcilable. All of his attacks were aimed at Zhao Feng. Wind lightning eye flame. Zhao Feng could only use one eye flame to block the three-eyed saint's attack. But this way, Zhao Feng had almost reached his limit in dealing with the ice fan. Most of the pressure was taken on by the skeletal division leader. At this moment a rare flash of joy appeared in the skeletal division leader's eyes. If Zhao Feng dies here, the dark heart seed in the depths of my soul won't be a threat anymore. Of course. The skeletal division leader wouldn't go easy on him. Zhao Feng's god's spiritual eye's control of the situation was unparalleled. He was just hoping that the pressure from the mystic ice queen would be even greater. The greater the danger, the greater the chance of escaping from Zhao Feng's control. Ice Imperial Spear, appear. At this moment, a half-transparent ice-blue spear shadow appeared in Zhao Feng's palm. An indescribably terrifying chill seeped into the area and froze it. The surrounding heaven-earth yuan qi and all living things instantly froze. That ice-blue light spear was covered in beautiful ice crystals. When it pierced through the air, everything in the world shattered. That unstoppable huge ice mountain was peeled off layer by layer, turning into countless ice shards and powder. With the appearance of the Earth-grade weapon, Zhao Feng's battle power even surpassed the skeletal division leader. Break! Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader increased their offense at the same time. Only then were they able to destroy the Mystic Ice Queen's attack. Skeletal division leader, how confident are we in killing the Mystic Ice Queen? Zhao Feng's voice sounded through the dark heart seed. What? Kill this sovereign in front of us? The skeletal division leader almost tripped, and its face twitched. Master, we'll have to pay a heavy price if we want to survive this sovereign's attack, and we might not even succeed. As for killing her, the chances are zero unless I'm at my peak. The skeletal division leader's eyes were filled with bitterness. It didn't understand. With Zhao Feng's god's spiritual eye, how could he not see the situation? However, how could Zhao Feng not see the situation? Even if he teamed up with the skeletal division leader, they would have to pay a heavy price to defeat the Mystic Ice Queen and keep their lives. Even if they succeeded, the skeletal division leader would return to its original state. Humph. You still dare to be distracted while fighting me? A mocking smile appeared on the Mystic Ice Queen's face as she raised her hand and summoned an ice wind whirlpool dragon that was even stronger than the previous two attacks. The skeletal division leader's heart tightened. The pressure it faced this time was even greater. Hee, as expected of a sovereign. This is even better. A faint laugh came from the blue-haired youth next to it. Laugh? He could still laugh. The skeletal division leader's face went green. If Zhao Feng died, it would most likely die facing the Mystic Ice Queen alone. The skeletal division leader found that something was wrong. Zhao Feng didn't use the Earth-grade weapon anymore. Shwa! A carved dragon jade talisman appeared in his hand. That's... The Mystic Ice Queen's heart jumped as she felt uneasy. Jade Dragon Protection. Open. The carved dragon jade talisman in Zhao Feng's hand suddenly released a bright light, and the image of an ancient true dragon appeared. Woo! The low roar of an ancient true dragon reverberated through the heavens and the earth. That huge ancient true dragon phantom exuded a supreme power that surpassed the heavens and earth. What? That's... The skeletal division leader and the Mystic Ice Queen both felt an immeasurable pressure on their souls. Could this be the legendary Void God protection? But... A strong pressure came from the depths of the skeletal division leader's soul, and its body stiffened. The flames in its eye sockets almost stopped moving. At this moment, the heaven-earth yuan qi within several hundred miles seemed to be locked down by an invisible force, and a pressure that came from the soul made everything within 1,000 miles tremble. Die! Zhao Feng pointed the dragon jade talisman at the mystic ice queen. The giant ancient green dragon shadow broke through the air towards the Xian Ice Queen and brought with it the power of an ancient true dragon. Everywhere it passed, the heaven-earth yuan qi shook and there was a feeling of the universe shaking. Crack! First, the icy wind vortex frost dragon shattered upon contact. The two weren't even on the same level. No! Don't! The Black Ice Queen screamed, but under the ancient true dragon aura, her soul was sealed and she couldn't dodge at all. In reality, the Jade Dragon protection wasn't fast, but its trajectory was clear. However, the Mystic Ice Queen couldn't dodge it. When one's strength reached a certain level, logic would be broken. Arg! The Mystic Ice Queen screamed as her strong defense was instantly shattered like paper. Even sovereigns at the origin core realm were turned to dust under the power of the heaven-shaking divine art. Palace Master. The three-eyed saint's soul almost left his body in fear. His face went pale and his body started to tremble. An origin core sovereign that stood at the peak of the continent was killed by Zhao Feng's carving dragon jade talisman. The power of this jade dragon protection is obviously stronger than the void god protection Yi Yanyi used. Zhao Feng suppressed the shock in his heart. At the same time, a crack appeared on the dragon jade talisman in his hand, and its light dimmed by half. Basically speaking, the jade dragon protection was also a type of void god protection, but it was even more unique. The material it was made from contained a wisp of the bloodline of an ancient true dragon. On the side, the skeletal division leader's mouth gaped open as cold sweat started to form in its heart. It didn't expect Zhao Feng to be so strong and use a killing move to kill an origin core realm sovereign. Right at this moment, Zhao Feng put away the jade talisman and glanced at the skeletal division leader. The skeletal division leader's heart shook as a coldness spread from its feet to its body. Chapter 533. Zhao Feng's warning me that even without the dark heart seed, he still has other methods to kill me. The skeletal division leader's face was full of fear. Zhao Feng clearly had the jade dragon protection, but he didn't use it. Instead, he left it at the most critical moment. His intentions could be imagined. Before this, the skeletal division leader wanted to use this chance to escape. If it knew that Zhao Feng had such a terrifying card, it wouldn't have dared to betray him even without the threat of the Dark Heart Seed. The power of the Jade Dragon protection was too terrifying, and it could instantly kill sovereigns. Normal Void God Realm sovereigns were usually heavily injured and forced back sovereigns. Zhao Feng's gaze moved away from the skeletal division leader and he was satisfied. He had already prepared to use the Jade Dragon protection against the Mystic Ice Queen's pursuit. However, using it so easily wouldn't be able to unleash its full effect. Zhao Feng decided to use it at the last moment because he could gain experience fighting with sovereigns and it wouldn't affect his killing speed. Most importantly, it could also scare the skeletal division leader. As time passed, the skeletal division leader would recover its peak strength sooner or later. At that time, it would have the battle power of a true sovereign. Before the skeletal division leader could fully recover its strength, Zhao Feng would leave a shadow in its heart. At the same time, run! The three-eyed saint was scared out of his wits and started to run. Master, let me do it. The skeletal division leader volunteered to show its loyalty. Zhao Feng nodded his head with interest. Shua! The skeletal division leader had disappeared, leaving behind a blurry afterimage. In the next instant, a golden-silver line pierced through the clouds and quickly closed the distance between it and the three-eyed saint. After all, the skeletal division leader had 60 to 70% of its full battle power, and its speed surpassed normal half-step origin core realms. If Zhao Feng didn't use the wings of wind and lightning, he might not be able to beat the skeletal division leader. Dark Soul Death Claw. The skeletal division leader's expression was grim as it waved its hand, and a red claw the size of a small palace appeared that screeched through the soul dimension. Oh no, it's a soul Dao attack. An aura of death enveloped the three-eyed saint's soul. Normal mental attacks could only target one's consciousness. However, soul Dao attacks were more profound than normal mental attacks, and their techniques were more profound. Puchi. Even though the three-eyed saint's divine light of destruction only managed to create a hole in the claw, half of its power still passed through his body. Ah! The three-eyed saint screamed in pain. His face turned pale and purple. The Nether Soul Death Claw directly injured his soul and took away a lot of his essence energy. The three-eyed saint's soul was injured, and his life force was destroyed. The following battles were not on the same level at all. The three-eyed saint was killed by the skeletal division leader in just 2 moves. The skeletal division leader respectfully helped Zhao Feng organize the spoils of war. Unfortunately, the Jade Dragon protection was too strong and turned the Mystic Ice Queen's items into dust. Zhao Feng looked through the three-eyed saint's interspatial ring. Zhao Feng's gaze suddenly landed on a tattered leather book. There were a few ancient words written on it. Zhao Feng's knowledge wasn't the same as before, and a light flashed through his eyes. Stealing technique? So, this tattered little book recorded the theory of a type of forbidden technique. Unfortunately, it's only a theory and incomplete. Zhao Feng felt slightly regretful. The theory wasn't the same as the actual technique. It was just an abstract concept that hadn't been tested. Furthermore, the theory of the eye-stealing technique was incomplete. I've heard of the eye-stealing technique. Apparently, it steals another person's eye bloodline and transplants it into another person. It's the same as having an eye bloodline. The skeletal division leader explained. Hearing this, Zhao Feng couldn't help but widen his eyes. There was actually such a technique in the world. Of course, the eye-stealing technique has been lost in the world and only some incomplete theories remain. Furthermore, even with the complete technique, the success rate is still very low due to many factors. The skeletal division leader sighed. Eye-stealing technique? Could it be that the two from the Golden Sun family chased me for? Zhao Feng couldn't help but think. If it was just because they were jealous of Zhao Feng's eye bloodline, the two wouldn't have taken such a huge risk. However, the possibility of stealing Zhao Feng's eye bloodline was different, even if the success rate was pitifully small. Schwa. Zhao Feng opened his god's spiritual eye and copied the incomplete, eye-stealing forbidden technique and comprehended it. What disappointed Zhao Feng was that it was only a theory and didn't mention the details of how to use it. Of course. The theory of the eye-blinding forbidden technique also increased Zhao Feng's knowledge base. Let's go. Zhao Feng told the skeletal division leader to return to the 10,000 Ghost Pearl and headed toward the Purple Rising Great Country. The Purple Rising Great Country was one of the 3 great countries of the northern continent and was even stronger than the Canopy Great Country. Half a month later, Zhao Feng returned to the Canopy Great Country after attending the auction and buying the materials he needed. After returning to the Iron Blood religion, Zhao Feng continued to gather materials. As long as there were enough materials in the 10,000 Ghost Pearl, the skeletal division leader would be able to refine the cursed ghost corpses. Now, the skeletal division leader's cultivation had recovered by more than half and its efficiency had increased greatly. On top of that, it even helped Zhao Feng find the curse of 100 graves so that he could build the ghost corpse cursed array in the future. Zhao Feng left the forging to the skeletal division leader, and he spent most of his time comprehending and cultivating. In the blink of an eye, half a year passed. Over this half a year, Zhao Feng cultivated hard and occasionally went out to kill a few experts of the Scarlet Moon religion. However, over the past half a year, Zhao Feng found that his progress towards the late-stage True Lord rank was becoming slower and slower. This slow was relative to Zhao Feng's previous speed. Compared to normal geniuses, he was at least 10 times faster. After all, Zhao Feng's soul and intent far surpassed his cultivation. Therefore, Zhao Feng went to ask Patriarch Hong. The Azure Flower Continent is, after all, a small continent and is limited by the heaven-earth yuan qi and resources. The limit of cultivation is the origin core realm. Therefore, the closer one gets to the origin core realm, the slower one's cultivation is. Patriarch Hong answered. Zhao Feng finally knew the answer, and it was the same as his guesses. Of course, with your current speed, you should be able to break through to the late-stage True Lord rank in 2 or 3 years. Patriarch Hong smiled and said. Is there any way to speed up my cultivation? Zhao Feng asked. For example, the Three Saint Palace is on the Three Saint Mountain. It's a famous cultivation sacred ground in the Azure Islands zone. The heaven-earth yuan qi there is 10 times purer than here. Patriarch Hong then suggested that Zhao Feng join the Three Saint Palace. Zhao Feng still rejected. In the following period of time, Zhao Feng's cultivation speed decreased. In the following period of time, the remaining members of the Scarlet Moon demonic religion and new forces appeared all over the continent like bamboo shoots after the rain. From the looks of it, the Azure Flower Continent would once again fall into chaos. Therefore, the Iron Blood religion held a meeting and gathered all the forces to destroy the demonic religion near the Canopy Great Country. Patriarch Hong, the demonic religion has more and more forces. The Great Country is in danger. There seem to be experts from other continents amongst them. The atmosphere within the hall of the Iron Blood religion was tense. Generally speaking, the factions represented by the Sacred Alliance and the 10 great sects still held a great advantage in the current situation of the continent. However, the demonic religion continued to counterattack, making everyone feel pressured. According to the news from the battlefield, the upper echelons of the Sacred Alliance and the Scarlet Moon demonic religion clashed several times. What was the result? Of course the Sacred Alliance won, but this seems to be just a test. The upper echelons of the Iron Blood religion discussed. Zhao Feng sat on the deputy patriarch's seat leisurely. He was only responsible for clearing out the demonic religion in the Great Country and the Cloud area. He didn't care about the other areas. Little did he know. He still had a Scarlet Moon division leader in his 10,000 Ghost Pearl. Several days later, Zhao Feng was cultivating in seclusion. Suddenly, a wisp of strange and obscure fluctuation came from the space itself. Purple Saint Token. Zhao Feng's heart jumped as he took out a purple token from his ancient metal ring. When the Purple Saint Token emitted a faint purple halo, Zhao Feng sent a wisp of spiritual sense in. Brother Zhao Feng. There might be some trouble in the Purple Saint ruins and I need your help. If there's nothing else, you can use the Purple Saint Token to return to the ruins within a year, Yufei. A message was caught by Zhao Feng. After reading this message, Zhao Feng's heart jumped. He was planning to either leave the Azure Flower Continent or return to the Purple Saint ruins if he couldn't break through in the next half a year. The message from the Purple Saint Token came at the right time. I can't easily reveal the situation of the Purple Saint ruins. Zhao Feng prepared to leave soon. Master, the 100 Corpse plan is 8% complete. We don't have enough resources. The skeletal division leader's voice sounded. Okay, focus on refining and consolidating your foundation. You'll have large amounts of resources soon. Zhao Feng replied. In the next few days, Zhao Feng started to prepare. Zhao Feng decided to keep his return to the Purple Saint ruins a secret and couldn't tell Patriarch Hong and company. Furthermore, Zhao Feng didn't want to drag the Iron Blood religion into the conflict between the Purple Saint ruins and the 3 two-star sections. Putting aside the Iron Blood religion, even the 10 great sects of the continent were not worth mentioning in front of the 3 two-star sects. Half a month later, everything was ready. Zhao Feng left behind a letter in his place of seclusion before leaving. The contents of the letter only mentioned that Zhao Feng had decided to go out, but the time wasn't certain. Half a day later. Canopy Great Country, Transverse Water Bay. Zhao Feng left a message with his spiritual sense to the Purple Saint ruins, "I'm preparing to return. Half the time it takes for an incense stick to burn later." When a twisted purple dot of light gradually expanded, forming a glowing purple door of light. When the door of purple light appeared, the nearby space trembled slightly and even seemed to overlap. Shwa! Zhao Feng stepped into the door of purple light and disappeared. In the next instant, he was no longer in the Azure Flower continent. Chapter 534. After the feeling of space distorting, Zhao Feng's body sank and he appeared in a stinky swamp. That's right, this is the place. Zhao Feng had a deep impression of the Purple Saint ruins aura. After all, he had stayed here for several months. Even though this was a normal area, the Heaven-Earth Yuan Qi here was 10 times better than the Canopy Great Country. With Zhao Feng's mental energy level, he could summon the pure Heaven-Earth Yuan Qi nearby. Cultivating here was much easier than in the Azure Flower continent. However, before Zhao Feng could even stabilize his feet, he felt a powerful aura from below that caused the ground to tremble. Black tentacles as thick as buckets reached out from the swamp and gave off green smoke. An invisible corrosive aura was enough to instantly kill normal beings. Shwa! An arc of electricity was left in its wake. The black tentacles lashed out with all their might, but they missed their target. In the next instant, Zhao Feng appeared in the air a few dozen yards away. He squinted his eyes and looked down. In the stinking swamp, there was a giant black-colored swamp monster. It was half a mile in radius and could be considered a giant. Watch out! That's a black swamp water monster at the half-step origin core realm. A soft and worried voice sounded in Zhao Feng's mind. Black swamp water monster. Zhao Feng didn't panic and wasn't surprised by the voice. When wisps of blue water appeared on the surface of Zhao Feng's body and acted as a filter. The aura of the black swamp water monster even made Zhao Feng feel slightly pressured. The green smoke and the corrosive aura it gave off weren't any weaker than Zhao Feng's dark silver poison corpses. Brother Zhao Feng. It's best if you leave the territory of the black swamp water monster as soon as possible. This water monster is huge and gives off a deadly poisonous gas that can instantly turn normal True Lord ranks into a puddle of blood. Its battle power and life force are close to the towering tree Yao. Zhao Yufei's voice sounded a little urgent. In the Purple Saint ruins, there were many powerful beasts and groups of beasts. Back then, when Zhao Feng had entered, he had been very careful, as if he was treading on thin ice. He had used his god's spiritual eye to probe around, bit by bit. Even for the current Zhao Feng, there were still some powerful existences in the Purple Saint ruins that posed a great threat to him. This was because the most powerful creature in the relic was comparable to a venerable one. Although the black swamp water monster's strength hadn't reached the sovereign level, it was a peak existence close to the towering tree Yao in the Purple Saint space. Puff 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 puff, the enormous dark brown water monster in the swamp waved its tentacles and shot out dark green balls of light that looked like excrement. Some of them even exploded in the air. Bang! Bang! Every explosion would sweep a radius of 20 to 30 yards and normal cultivators at the true spirit realm would die if they touched it. The black swamp water monster shot out hundreds of dark green balls of light at once. Their destructive power was terrifying. Damn, it's so unfriendly. Zhao Feng jumped up in fright and lightning flashed around him as he left the area. However, there were still dozens of dark green balls of light that exploded near Zhao Feng, and the poisonous gas was enough to kill most true lord ranks. A blue ripple appeared around Zhao Feng's body and absorbed the power. In the sky, Zhao Feng temporarily left the area of the black swamp water monster, but he didn't immediately leave. Zhao Feng, you should leave. I advise you to leave. That black marsh water monster isn't completely unable to leave the ground. Furthermore, there are a few demon beasts nearby, and there's even a sleeping venerable level demon beast. The purple Saint Partial Spirit's beautiful figure appeared in Zhao Feng's mind. The purple Saint Partial Spirit had already given the map to Zhao Feng. As long as he was careful, Zhao Feng would be able to survive in the space. Master. The materials of the black swamp water monster are extremely suitable for ghost corpses, and its liquid is extremely useful for creating corpse poisons. The skeletal division leader's voice sounded from the 10,000 ghost pearl. The purple Saint Partial Spirit was surprised and realized that Zhao Feng had brought another expert into the 10,000 ghost pearl. That's what I was thinking. With Zhao Feng's god's spiritual eye, how could he not see that the black swamp water monster was a treasure that could provide a large amount of resources for the 100 corpse plan? Wind lightning crackling strike. Zhao Feng waved his hand in the air and a blade of wind and lightning 10 to 20 yards long appeared with a faint purple destruction wind lightning around it. Shwa! Crackle! The huge blade of wind and lightning slashed through the air, creating dazzling sparks and exploding thunder, giving off a destructive and tyrannical aura. Before the slash even arrived, the black swamp water monster started to tremble uneasily and instinctively dive into the swamp. In order to increase the power of the wind lightning crackling slash, Zhao Feng had placed the purple destruction wind lightning at the edge of the blade to increase its destructive power. Shwa! Shwa! The blade of wind and lightning was so fast that the black swamp water monster couldn't react in time. It went straight into its head and even into its body. In an instant, the swamp below seemed to flip as the howls of the black swamp water monster sounded. Not only was Zhao Feng's slash powerful, it was also extremely accurate, and it dealt a fatal blow to the black swamp monster. If it was a normal peak True Lord rank or even a half-step Origin Core realm, they would have died. However, the black swamp monster's body was huge and its life force was shocking. It was still struggling and could attack Zhao Feng at any moment. Master, it's best to make sure the corpse is intact. The value of this material. The skeletal division leader said expectantly. It didn't doubt that Zhao Feng had the strength to kill the black swamp water monster. And, make sure the corpse is intact. Zhao Feng nodded his head faintly. Hearing this, the purple Saint Partial Spirit and Zhao Yufei were both surprised. It had only been 2.5 years. How much had Zhao Feng improved? It seemed like he didn't even put the half-step Origin Core realm black swamp water monster in his eyes. Eye of Ice Soul. Zhao Feng's left eye shot out a beam of light that instantly pierced through the black swamp water monster's body. Sai. The black swamp water monster's body froze as if its soul had been frozen, and its struggle became much weaker. A while later, the swamp within a mile or 2 radius was completely frozen. The black swamp water monster's body was covered in a layer of ice, and its consciousness was in a deep sleep. Its life force was almost undetectable. This state was like a vegetable that was in a deep sleep. It wasn't much different from death. Back in the Purple Saint ruins, Li Hong, who was at the late-stage True Lord rank, was finished off by Zhao Feng's Eye of Heaven. I guarantee it's complete and fresh. Zhao Feng smiled playfully and waved his hand, telling the skeletal division leader to dissect the corpse. The skeletal division leader's face twitched. Maybe only Zhao Feng had the ability to freeze the body and soul of a half-step Origin Core realm beast. On the other side, Zhao Yufei and the Purple Saint Partial Spirit were both surprised. This Zhao Feng's potential is shocking. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit couldn't help but sigh. Sitting next to her, Zhao Yufei's cultivation had also reached the late-stage True Lord rank and wasn't much stronger than Zhao Feng. One had to know. Zhao Yufei's bloodline talent was extremely close to the Heaven-Earth Yuan Qi, and she came from the 10,000 ancient races. Her cultivation speed was one of the best in the outside world. Furthermore, Zhao Yufei was in the Purple Saint Ruins, and her cultivation environment was countless times better than the Azure Flower Continent. It took him almost half a day's time. Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader finished dissecting the black swamp monster. In this period of time, some beasts came in and were easily taken care of by Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader. Not bad. Not only did this Zhao Feng come in himself, he even brought a slave at the origin core realm. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit was overjoyed. It wasn't hard for her to see the relationship between Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader with her special connection to the ruins. Brother Zhao Feng enslaved a sovereign. Zhao Yufei's mouth was wide open and she was dumbfounded. The main reason they told Zhao Feng to return to the Purple Saint Ruins was to help him. After all, a large portion of Zhao Yufei's time was used to refine the crystal key, which was the core of the ruins. An hour later, Zhao Feng flew through the air and entered the mysterious canyon from back then. In this process, Zhao Feng killed all the beasts that got in his way like cucumbers. Even if some beasts wanted to take a shortcut, Zhao Feng would still go through them. The weird wind around the mysterious canyon didn't affect Zhao Feng much. In the depths of the canyon, Zhao Feng saw the towering tree Yao. The towering tree Yao's injuries had mostly healed, and new branches had grown out of its missing parts. Human, you're here again. The towering tree Yao was overjoyed. Zhao Feng landed on a branch of the towering tree Yao. At this point in time, he wouldn't even be afraid of fighting the towering tree Yao head-on. A while later, when a layer of dreamy purple mist surrounded the towering tree Yao, and a purple palace descended from the sky. The Purple Palace was obviously the Purple Saint Treasured Palace. The Purple Saint Treasured Palace's existence was very unique. It was usually at the core of the ruins and couldn't stay outside for too long. Furthermore, every time the Purple Saint Treasured Palace descended, it would use up the Purple Saint Partial Spirit's energy. Shua! Zhao Feng entered the Purple Saint Treasured Palace with familiarity. On the third floor of the Treasured Palace, Zhao Feng met Zhao Yufei and the Purple Saint Partial Spirit once again. Zhao Yufei sat in the lotus position and a crystal key floated in front of her. She waved her hand and threads of flame of true spirit seeped into it to refine. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit was a beautiful ball of purple light that floated in the air. The two girls smiled as they looked at Zhao Feng. Brother Zhao Feng. Zhao Yufei's eyes were filled with joy and longing. Her eyes were misty as she leapt into Zhao Feng's embrace. Zhao Feng paused slightly. Apart from Lu Qinxin, this was the first time he had hugged another girl so intimately. However, Zhao Yufei was like a girl next door and he didn't reject it at all. On the contrary, he felt an indescribable urge. 2 years and 9 months. It's just that I haven't seen Brother Zhao Feng in a long time. Under the Purple Saint Partial Spirit's gaze, Zhao Yufei's face went red and she let go of Zhao Feng after a long time. 2 years and 9 months. Zhao Feng couldn't help but pause. He didn't think that time would pass so quickly. He was already 20 years old. Chapter 535. Third floor of the Purple Saint Treasured Palace. After reminiscing for a while, they finally got to the main topic. Senior Purple Saint, you sent a message for me to enter the Purple Saint Ruins. What can I do for you? Zhao Feng's tone was polite and respectful. After all, when the Purple Saint Partial Spirit was alive, the Purple Knight Sacred Lord was an existence that surpassed the Void God realm. Furthermore, the Purple Saint Partial Spirit had helped Zhao Feng a lot before she left. For example, the Jade Dragon Protection, the Ice Imperial Spear, the 10,000 Ghost Pearl, etc. were all given to him by the Purple Saint Partial Spirit. Zhao Feng, the Purple Saint Ruins hasn't faced any true danger yet, but there are some hidden threats. Outside the ruins, the 3 two-star sects have Void God Realm Kings guarding them and have even invited Array Masters to exhaust the energy of the ruins. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit said. The situation of the Purple Saint Ruins was definitely complicated. Firstly, it was about the general situation of the ruins. The Purple Saint Ruins was an inheritance dimension that spanned over 8,000 miles. An independent dimension with a circumference of 8,000 miles was unimaginable for normal experts. One had to know. The normal areas of the Purple Saint Ruins had 10 times the spiritual energy of the Azure Flower Continent, and some special areas had 100 times the spiritual energy of the Azure Flower Continent. In the space, there were a few regions that maintained their original appearance from the ancient era. The precious materials and treasures that were nurtured could be said to be innumerable. Zhao Feng had felt this last time he entered the Purple Saint Ruins. Apart from that, there were many rare beasts in the dimension, and there were thousands of them that had reached the true spirit realm. There were even a small number of sleeping sovereigns. Among these demonic beasts, there were some ancient rare beasts that were extinct in the outside world. This was also an inestimable value. Yufei becoming the inheritor of the ruins is something none of the true dragon geniuses can imagine. Zhao Feng sighed in his heart. Among the geniuses who had entered the inheritance outside the territory, the one with the greatest fortune wasn't the 5 overwhelming prodigies, but Zhao Yufei. The Purple Saint Ruins you see now is the result of 10,000 years of decline, and its size has shrunk greatly. 10,000 years ago, it was far stronger than it is now. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit sighed. Zhao Feng's heart shook. The current Purple Saint space was at its weakest. It was hard to imagine what the Purple Saint Ruins was like at its peak. May I ask, Senior Violet Saint, what hidden threats are there in the ruins? How can I help? Zhao Feng asked. Due to the passage of time and external factors, my own power has been continuously drained away. I only have less than 5% of my fragmented spirit power left. Now, he had to help Yufei refine the relic's core. I don't have much control over space anymore. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit sighed. She continued, if I was at my peak, my will would be like a god in space. With just a thought, I can cause mountains to crumble and the earth to crack, create tsunamis and storms. There is nothing I cannot do. One could imagine how much control the Purple Saint Partial Spirit had when she was at her peak. Then how much control does Senior Violet Saint have over the ruins? Zhao Feng's eyes flashed as he once again found the crux. Right now, the only thing that's left is the sensory monitoring of the entire space. No area can escape my vision, but certain loopholes may be limited. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit smiled bitterly. Hearing this, Zhao Feng nodded his head faintly. He had a rough understanding of the situation the last time he was here. This meant that the Purple Saint Partial Spirit didn't have any control over the ruins. The only thing she could do was see every corner of the ruins. Right now, most of the beasts here won't listen to my orders. Back then, I could decide their life and death with just one thought. Even Void God Realm Kings wouldn't be able to fight back. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit was helpless. Zhao Feng couldn't help but be surprised. He knew that this was the reason why the Purple Saint Partial Spirit was so desperate to find a successor. Zhao Feng. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit said in a serious tone, the power of the ruins is draining away and it's becoming unstable. There are more and more flaws. Yufei and I don't have time to deal with it, so we need your help. Finally, Zhao Feng understood his mission. Simply put, he was the butler that the Purple Saint Partial Spirit had hired to take care of the situation here. The flaws in the Purple Saint Partial Spirit's dimension would become even more unstable. Furthermore, these flaws were the breakthrough points of the 3 two-star sections. Of course, as payment, you can use most of the resources here. The purple saint partial spirit smiled faintly. No problem. Zhao Feng immediately agreed. As long as he was the butler of the ruins, he would be able to enjoy a good cultivation environment and obtain a large amount of resources. Furthermore, he and Zhao Yufei were childhood friends. Of course, this was also one of the reasons why the Purple Saint partial spirit chose to trust Zhao Feng. Oh my god. Is this a free lunch? The skeletal division leader's eyes bulged out. No wonder Zhao Feng wasn't worried about the resources of the 100 Corpses plan. An hour later, Zhao Feng understood the situation of the ruins. In order to avoid using too much energy, the Purple Saint partial spirit merged the ruins' treasured palace back into the dimension. Shua! Zhao Feng's figure appeared next to the towering tree Yao once more. The ruins' treasured palace was no longer there. Is this a free lunch? Is there anything in this world that doesn't require a price? Zhao Feng was calm. On the surface, it seemed like the Purple Saint partial spirit choosing him was a free lunch. However, the danger behind this wasn't small. Once the 3 two-star sects sent their experts into the ruins, Zhao Feng would definitely be the vanguard. According to what the Purple Saint partial spirit said, there are close to 100 flaws in the ruins. Among them, there are 2 or 3 major loopholes that involve vital points. A map of the weak points of the ruins soon appeared in Zhao Feng's mind. Most of the flaws on the map had flaws that could be hidden. Close to 100 areas. Thinking up to here, Zhao Feng felt his head hurt. The repair and consolidation of those flaws involved some extremely profound mysteries and even the principles of designing spatial formations. Luckily, the Purple Saint partial spirit had already provided a way to fix them, so Zhao Feng didn't need to worry about it. Currently, Zhao Feng's focus was on the 3 flaws. These 3 flaws were extremely dangerous and could be used by the 3 sections one of them. It came from this mysterious canyon. And the towering tree Yao was right in the middle of the mysterious canyon. Human, are we going to work together again? The towering tree Yao laughed. Zhao Feng's lips twitched as he started to fix the flaws. Ordinary loopholes referred to the fact that the space in a certain area was relatively weak. The Yuan Qi framework had cracks, causing the flow of heaven and earth Yuan Qi to be blocked, or even cut off the supply of heaven and earth Yuan Qi. If it wasn't fixed in time, the flaws would continue to expand and affect the entire dimension. Simply put, it was like the human body had a hidden disease that needed to be fixed. The Purple Knight Sacred Lord's repair method was to mine primal crystal stones and use external Yuan Qi. The method of operation included setting up an elemental gathering formation and a restoration-type formation to repair, replenish, and unblock it. There were even some special areas that required Zhao Feng to personally guide the flow of Yuan Qi. On the first day of the repair, Zhao Feng was extremely tired. Before setting up the array, he needed to mine primal crystal stones or some special materials. And this was only the simplest step. Come out. Zhao Feng waved his hand and summoned the skeletal division leader, 2 dark silver ghost corpses, and 7 cursed ghost corpses. Master, what are you? The skeletal division leader asked curiously. From today onwards, you need to help me fix the flaws in the ruins, mine resources, and construct arrays. Zhao Feng ordered. Zhao Feng decided to use these powerful ghost corpses as manual labor. However, the ghost corpses could only do some simple tasks and couldn't do anything that was more detailed. Zhao Feng, you want me, the Scarlet Moon Demonic Religion Division leader, to be your slave? Don't you need my help with the 100 Corpse plan? The skeletal division leader complained. Your focus is on refining the cursed ghost corpses, but there are some things that require your command. Zhao Feng said. The skeletal division leader was experienced and knew a bit about arrays. With its strength at the origin core realm, it wouldn't be any weaker than Zhao Feng. Don't be lazy. Zhao Feng reached out and pulled out a sleeping silver gray cat. Meow meow. The little thieving cat waved its paws in protest. It was even more unwilling to be a laborer. Wrong, you're the supervisor. Zhao Feng picked up the little thieving cat and flew around the Purple Saint ruins. Half a day later, Zhao Feng and the little thieving cat flew back with a cloud of dust behind them. The skeletal division leader looked over and jumped up in fright. An army of beasts followed behind Zhao Feng. There were dozens of figures of different sizes, and they were all at the true spirit realm. There were apes, pangolins, and mammoths among the demonic beasts. The smaller ones were the size of humans, and the bigger ones were the size of small mountains. These beasts were all controlled by Zhao Feng. Soon, more than a dozen ape-like demon beasts picked up their pickaxes and started mining. The pangolins were responsible for digging the tunnels. The giant elephants were responsible for splitting the mountains. The strongest beast was a golden elephant that was 40 to 50 yards long. Its cultivation had reached the peak True Lord rank, and even those at the half-step origin core realm would find it hard to break through its defense. Boom! Under Zhao Feng's control, the golden elephant smashed into a rock. You're a beast tamer. The skeletal division leader paused. Only a beast tamer would have such methods to easily tame a large number of demonic beasts and command so many spirit pets at the same time to complete all kinds of tasks. This Zhao Feng is pretty smart. He's managed to tame so many beasts to work for him. The Purple Saint partial spirit on the third floor was surprised. Chapter 536. 2 days later. Zhao Feng wasn't involved in fixing the holes in the ruins. The skeletal division leader acted as the commander and fixed the holes, setting up the arrays, etc. The little thieving cat was the best supervisor, and was responsible for communicating with the beasts. At the lowest level were the demonic beasts who worked as laborers. From top to bottom, there were commanders, supervisors, coolies, and everything that one could think of, forming a complete system. 10 days later. The number of beasts increased to over 100, and most of them had high intelligence. Under the command of the skeletal division leader, the beasts started to build the ruins. Everything was done in an orderly fashion. All it needed to do was to give orders and everything would go smoothly. After all, the skeletal division leader was a figurehead of the Scarlet Moon demonic religion. At its peak, it had many times more subordinates than it did now. Third floor of the treasured palace. The Purple Saint partial spirit saw all of this and was very satisfied. The slave that Zhao Feng had brought in was very useful. However, Zhao Feng didn't forget to squeeze out more value from the skeletal division leader. The skeletal division leader still needed to refine cursed ghost corpses. Luckily, it didn't need to worry about the materials and could just send the beasts to mine them. The Purple Saint partial spirit would answer any questions the skeletal division leader had about the ruins. Later on, the Purple Saint partial spirit would ask the skeletal division leader for instructions on how to fix the holes in the ruins. As for Zhao Feng, the only thing he needed to do was to provide the beasts with hard labor. Half a month later, the number of beasts slowly increased to 200 to 300 and they were all at the true spirit realm. And this was when Zhao Feng wasn't even using his full strength. This was because the ruins itself was filled with danger, and the beasts would die as time went on. Zhao Feng just needed to replenish them every once in a while. Finally, on a certain day, Zhao Feng went into seclusion after increasing the number of beasts to 500. The Purple Saint ruins had a good Yuan Qi environment and Zhao Feng's soul and intent were both strong. His cultivation speed was several times faster than in the Azure Flower continent. It only took 2 months. Zhao Feng's cultivation broke through to the late-stage True Lord rank. The effect of cultivating in the Purple Saint ruins is truly extraordinary. If I was in the Azure Flower continent, I would probably need more than a year to break through this bottleneck. Zhao Feng was pleasantly surprised. The Purple Saint partial spirit obviously saw Zhao Feng's breakthrough. This Xiao Feng's soul and mental energy level far surpass his cultivation. This is why his cultivation soared after returning to the Purple Saint ruins. The Purple Saint partial spirit sighed. On the other hand, Zhao Yufei did not overtake Zhao Feng for long before she was caught up again. Yufei's situation is the exact opposite of his. The breakthrough in cultivation is limited by the spiritual realm. The Purple Saint partial spirit shook her head. Zhao Yufei's compatibility with Heaven-Earth Essence Qi was extremely high. She had a top-notch cultivation physique. If she had Zhao Feng's mental state, she would be at least at the half-step primal core realm. It was a pity. There was no perfect bloodline in this world. Zhao Feng was the same. His comprehension and mental energy surpassed others, but his compatibility with Heaven-Earth Essence Qi wasn't any better than others. If he and Yufei can become husband and wife and use the secret art of dual cultivation to advance their cultivation, a thought appeared in the Purple Saint partial spirit's heart. However, thinking about the relationship between Zhao Feng and Zhao Yufei, she let out a long sigh. After breaking through to the late-stage True Lord rank, Zhao Feng didn't need to consolidate his foundation and exited seclusion. At this point in time, half of the 500 beasts were gone. There were only 200 left. Zhao Feng started to replenish the beasts. Late-stage True Lord rank. He went from the early-stage True Lord rank to the late-stage True Lord rank in less than 2 years. The skeletal division leader's heart was heavy. If it was a normal late-stage True Lord rank, the skeletal division leader would look down on it like an ant. However, it knew that Zhao Feng's True Lord rank exceeded his foundational cultivation by an unknown amount. Every time Zhao Feng's cultivation increased, the skeletal division leader's chances of escaping his control would become smaller. And now, after Zhao Feng broke through to the late-stage True Lord rank, his source of true spirit was purer and stronger than before. A few days later, the beasts were replenished. Zhao Feng once again became the caretaker of the ruins and made sure that the skeletal division leader wasn't playing any tricks. Master, we've completed 12% of the 100 Ghost Corpse plan after entering the Purple Saint ruins. The skeletal division leader reported. 12% was equivalent to creating 12 cursed ghost corpses. Not bad. Zhao Feng nodded his head in satisfaction. Everything had sped up after entering the Purple Saint ruins. Furthermore, Senior Purple Saint has provided us with the corresponding refinement and construction of the 100 Corpses curse. The skeletal division leader explained. Soon, the Purple Saint ruins sent a stream of information into Zhao Feng's mind. Zhao Feng copied it through his god's spiritual eye. Ghost Corpse Cursed Array. Through the refinement of certain ghost corpses, it can create an invisible curse. Zhao Feng started to comprehend. This was because the main material for the 100 Corpse core came from the True Lord rank corpses of the 100 Graves Forbidden Ground and contained the power of the curse. This meant that it wasn't hard to create a Ghost Corpse Cursed Array. The more ghost corpses there are, the stronger the Ghost Corpse Cursed Array is. If there were 100 True Lord rank ghost corpses, even sovereigns wouldn't be able to return. Excitement appeared in Zhao Feng's eyes. At the moment, he had a great Origin Core realm battle power by his side, and the skeletal division leader's recovery speed had increased after entering the Purple Saint ruins. If he completed the 100 Ghost Corpse plan and created the Ghost Corpse Cursed Array, it would be able to threaten even sovereigns. In the blink of an eye, another 2 months passed. In this period of time, Zhao Feng used some of his energy to create an array with the cursed ghost corpses. Shua! Shua! A total of 15 cursed ghost corpses were arranged in a specific formation. Within a radius of 300 meters, a thick gray cloud of smoke was formed. The powerful corpse energy of the evil ghost sealed off the entire area. Wind Lightning Slash. Zhao Feng casually slashed out an azure blade of wind and lightning, which started to sizzle as its power was quickly absorbed. Shua! A crack appeared in the gray cloud of smoke, and Zhao Feng's attack was swallowed by the black smoke. Then, the gray smoke billowed and rose, and the cracks that had been broken were quickly repaired. Although I didn't use the purple destruction wind lightning, it's enough to instantly kill early-stage True Lord ranks and severely injure late-stage True Lord ranks. Zhao Feng revealed a joyful expression. He then added a wisp of purple destruction wind lightning into it. Shwa! This time, the gray smoke shook violently, showing signs of instability. However, it quickly recovered and stabilized. Congratulations, Master. The ghost corpse cursed array has formed. That slash just now was enough to threaten half-step origin core realms. The skeletal division leader watched from afar with a complex expression. Thinking back. Even as the Scarlet Moon division leader, it didn't dare to have so many True Lord rank ghost corpses, let alone a ghost corpse cursed array. If this continued on, just 20 True Lord rank ghost corpses would be enough to kill anyone under the origin core realm. Shwa! Zhao Feng waved the black flag in his hand and put the 15 ghost corpses into the 10,000 ghost pearl. After that, he then summoned his 2 dark silver ghost corpses. After entering the Purple Saint ruins, Zhao Feng started to refine and strengthen them. Now, the base battle power of these 2 dark silver ghost corpses was comparable to normal late-stage True Lord ranks. Adding on the terrifying corpse poison, their damage was immeasurable in the ghost corpse cursed array. Furthermore, the ghost corpse's power was increased in the ghost corpse cursed array. On this day, after cultivating for a while, Zhao Feng walked around the Purple Saint ruins and checked for flaws. Because there were too many holes in the ruins, even the Purple Saint partial spirit herself might not be able to notice some of them. After all, the Purple Saint partial spirit was in her weakest state and couldn't control space at all. Zhao Feng entered the mysterious canyon and scanned the array below with his god's spiritual eye. He found some unusual signs. Mysterious canyon. There was a large flaw in this area. Towards this, the skeletal division leader had already set up the array and used the Purple Saint partial spirit's method to open up the Heaven-Earth Yuan Qi. However, the repair of the flaw was a slow process. It was like a disease that couldn't be healed in a short amount of time. From the surface, this major loophole was being repaired in an orderly manner and was returning to normal. The repair work had already been completed halfway. Wait. Although there's an Yuan Qi gathering array here, the Heaven-Earth Yuan Qi is too active and the aura of life is unbelievably strong. Zhao Feng's god's spiritual eye scanned the area. According to logic, before it was completely repaired, the Heaven-Earth Yuan Qi shouldn't be this active and the aura of life shouldn't be this strong. Zhao Feng, watch out. There's an external force eroding the whole. The Purple Saint partial spirit's voice sounded in his mind. Hearing this, Zhao Feng's heart jumped. The next instant, he found that the Heaven-Earth Yuan Qi around the hole was twice as active and the aura of life was rising. When did this happen? Why didn't I feel it before? Zhao Feng's expression was solemn. Hearing this, the skeletal division leader also came over. There's indeed something wrong. This hole hasn't been repaired yet, so there shouldn't be such strong Yuan Qi and aura of life. 2 dark red flames jumped in the skeletal division leader's eye sockets. The 2 didn't know how to explain this. That's because the external force didn't try to invade or destroy the hole. On the contrary, it is nourishing this area, and then assimilating it. The Purple Saint partial spirit's voice was solemn. No wonder. Zhao Feng understood. This situation was definitely the 3 sects trying to enter the Purple Saint ruins through a certain method. However, the methods of the 3 sects were extremely smart. They didn't attack the hole because it would be easily detected. On the contrary, they used pure Heaven-Earth Yuan Qi and life force to nourish this area. This method of not attacking made Zhao Feng and company think that it was because of the array. After nourishing it for a while, the 3 sects used external force to assimilate this area. This was like boiling a frog in warm water. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit and the Skeletal Division leader slowly got used to it. Chapter 537. Wisps of pure heaven-earth yuan qi and life energy slowly seeped into the mysterious canyon where the loophole was located. The heaven-earth yuan qi and life force were extremely pure and were being transferred over. At the beginning, this energy was nourishing, and the Purple Saint ruins didn't reject it. Instead, it was like dry soil that was absorbing water. 1/4 of the Purple Saint ruins has been absorbed. What benefits does this bring to the three sects? Zhao Feng's eyebrows furrowed. Logically speaking, the power that was transferred from the outside world was even beneficial in repairing and stabilizing the holes. Even the Skeletal Division leader didn't understand. If my guesses aren't wrong, the three sects want to take over this hole first. Then, they'll use it as a base to infiltrate and invade the ruins. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit's voice was solemn. Three sects. Invade? The Skeletal Division leader paused and couldn't help but ask, what kind of existences are the three sects you're talking about? After being in the Purple Saint ruins for so long, the Skeletal Division leader had heard Zhao Feng and the Purple Saint Partial Spirit mention the three sections. However, it didn't know what the three sects were. The three sects are the three two-star sects of the Tianlu Island Zone, the Pure Moon Spiritual Sect, Moon Demon Palace, and Black Cliff Palace. The Pure Moon Spiritual Sect is a 2.5-star sect. Zhao Feng explained. What? The three two-star sects. The Skeletal Division leader stumbled and stared at Zhao Feng in disbelief. This truth, for him, was like a thunderbolt striking his head. Two-star sects. What kind of powerful sects were they? With the Skeletal Division leader's experience, it obviously knew how terrifying two-star sects were. Tianlu Island Zone. Isn't that a zone next to the Azure Island Zone? And the Moon Demon Palace. The Skeletal Division leader's expression changed dramatically. When the Moon Demon Palace was mentioned, he took a deep breath and panicked. Zhao Feng's eyes scanned over it. The Moon Demon Palace should be the force behind your Scarlet Moon demonic religion, right? You know. The Skeletal Division leader's heart tightened. Ha, I already had a guess when I was in the Cloud District. Zhao Feng chuckled, not surprised at all. If I didn't guess wrong. The dark and chaotic, Crimson Moon era, was essentially an extension of the conflict between the two-star sects, the Moon Demon Palace and the Three Saints Palace. To put it simply, several hundred years ago, the Green Flower Continent was a battlefield where the Moon Demon Palace and the Three Saints Palace clashed. Zhao Feng, you're crazy. You dare to go against the three major sects? The Skeletal Division leader exclaimed. The Scarlet Moon Demon sect was strong, but it was just a chess piece of the Moon Demon Palace. From this, it could be seen what kind of colossal existence a two-star sect was. Furthermore, of the three great two-star sects, the strongest, the Pure Moon Spiritual Sect, was at the 2.5-star level. Become enemies? Ha ha ha. I killed more than 1 or 2 geniuses from the three sects 2 or 3 years ago. As Zhao Feng laughed, there was a hint of heroism and even madness on his face. In this world, without hard work and risk, how could there be great opportunities and gains? Thinking back, when Zhao Feng first entered the Purple Saint ruins as an outsider, he fought a life and death battle with the three sections. But in the end, Zhao Feng became the biggest winner and obtained great fortune. Although Zhao Yufei was the inheritor of the Purple Saint ruins and had the biggest fortune, comparatively speaking, Zhao Feng's growth was only above Zhao Yufei's. And this time, Zhao Feng might have to face the three sects again. Senior Purple Saint, what should we do about the three sects? Zhao Feng calmed himself down. There's probably some trouble. Firstly, we can't forcefully attack this place or else it'll expand. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit said solemnly. Hearing this, the hearts of Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader shook. Indeed. Being the weakest point of the dimension, it couldn't be forcefully attacked. Secondly, the power that's seeping in is related to the laws of space. There's a Void God Realm King and even a spatial array master behind it. It'll be very hard for you to deal with it at your level. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit smiled bitterly. Hard to deal with? Zhao Feng's expression changed. Even Zhao Feng and the Scarlet Moon Division leader couldn't do anything about it. We can't attack and it'll be very hard to deal with. This is indeed troublesome. The Skeletal Division leader wanted to retreat. However, the Purple Saint Partial Spirit thought deeply, once this hole is completely fixed, the three sects won't be able to do anything no matter how strong they are. I understand. This means that the only time the three sects can do anything is before the hole is fixed. Zhao Feng's eyes lit up. Because, as long as the hole was fixed, there would be no more flaws. Of course, the three sects wouldn't be able to do anything. That's right. Before the hole is fixed, we need to be prepared. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit said. Next. Zhao Feng and the Skeletal Division leader used all their resources to speed up the repair of the hole. When in an instant, the Heaven-Earth Yuan Qi in the center of the mysterious canyon started to condense. With everyone's hard work, the hole was quickly fixed. 3 days later. It's already half fixed. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit's voice sounded. The more the hole was fixed, the harder it would be for the three sects to take over the Purple Saint ruins. During this time, Zhao Feng went to the other two holes and used his god's spiritual eye. The result wasn't good. The other two holes also seem to be nourished by an external power, but it's not as strong as this one. Zhao Feng's god's spiritual eye saw everything. These were just the major holes. He hadn't looked at the smaller holes yet. This was because a small flaw was equivalent to a small injury on the body, and the threat was not great. Zhao Feng. Look over there. There seems to be a weird plant growing there. The Skeletal Division leader sent news over. Chio. Zhao Feng quickly returned to the mysterious canyon. Focusing on it. In the forest where the loophole was located, some dark green roots appeared. They were mixed among the trees and were very inconspicuous. These rhizomes didn't appear an hour ago, he said. Right now, they're only in the hole. The Skeletal Division leader analyzed. Zhao Feng scanned over it with his god's spiritual eye and felt that something was wrong. The dark green rhizomes had a violent and bloodthirsty negative aura, which was very different from ordinary plants. Furthermore, this dark green rhizome grew too fast. When at the same time, the amount of life power that was seeping in from the outside world suddenly increased by several times. In addition, the Heaven and Earth Yuan Qi from the outside world and the Yuan Qi gathering formation caused the Heaven and Earth Yuan Qi in this area to increase by several times. Who in the blink of an eye, the dark green roots, within a radius of 4 to 5 kilometers around the loophole rapidly expanded, becoming thicker and longer, and their color became even deeper. At the very center, some of the rhizomes instantly grew to the height of a person, forming ink-black vines, covered in ferocious and bloodthirsty barbs. Damn it, these vines are sucking away my life force essence. The towering tree demon roared loudly. Within 4 to 5 miles. The dark green roots started to grow rapidly under the nourishment of the pure life force and Heaven-Earth Yuan Qi. This. Zhao Feng and the Skeletal Division leader were dazed. It was too fast. In just a couple breaths' time, the dark green roots had turned into black vines that stabbed into the ground and started to grow in every direction. In the forest, the creatures that lived on or under the ground were sucked away by the dark green vines and turned into bones and white skin. Wind lightning tornado. Zhao Feng exclaimed, and a massive storm of lightning exploded from his palm, instantly enveloping a radius of 1 to 2 miles. Boom! The madly expanding ink-black vines were stopped, leaving behind patches of scorched marks. Electric currents were running all over the place. However, Zhao Feng could clearly feel that wood elemental lifeforms countered lightning to a certain extent. In this heaven and earth, all elements countered each other. Although lightning was strong, it was countered by wood elemental life force. Moreover, those ink-black vines grew endlessly under the effect of the surging vitality and the origin chi of the world. In just 1 or 2 breaths of time, the ink-black vines that had been destroyed quickly grew back with the spring breeze. Everything within 4 to 5 miles was filled with these black vines. Some of the faster-growing ones were already 7 or 8 yards long, and they showed no signs of stopping. My God, what kind of being is this? The skeletal division leader also joined the battle and destroyed the black vines. Wisps of purple destruction wind lightning appeared in Zhao Feng's palm and started to increase the intensity of his attacks. Damn it! This is a calamity-grade forbidden creature, demonic hell vine. The purple saint partial spirit exclaimed. Calamity grade? Demonic hell vine. Hearing this name, Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader couldn't help but hiccup. Just looking at the demonic hell vine devouring life force and its insane growth, it definitely lived up to its name of calamity grade. If such a being were to grow in the Azure Flower continent, it would probably bring about the destruction of the entire civilization. The 3 sects actually managed to get a seed of the demonic hell vine and dare to use it so easily? Aren't they afraid of burning themselves? This vine is almost immune to fire and water, and it can grow endlessly wherever there's life and heaven earth yuan qi. The purple saint partial spirit's voice trembled slightly. Boom! Boom! The combined attacks of Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader could only slow down the growth of the demonic hell vine, but they couldn't truly stop it. Quick! Destroy the yuan gathering array first. The denser the heaven earth yuan qi is, the faster the vine will grow. The purple saint partial spirit said. Wind lightning crackling slash. Zhao Feng slashed out with one hand, and several blades of wind and lightning surrounded the yuan gathering array. As expected. After the yuan gathering array was destroyed, the heaven earth yuan qi gathered decreased, and the growth of the demonic hell vine slowed down. However, at this point in time, the growth of the demonic hell vine had become a disaster. Most of the vines were several yards tall, and a small number were dozens of yards tall. Looking at it with the naked eye, it was an ink-black sea of vines. Countless ink-black vines were covered in barbs, twisting about crazily. It was a daunting sight. Chapter 538. In the Limitless Ocean. A giant mountain that looked like an ancient beast stood in the limitless ocean and spanned several hundred miles. On the peak of the mountain, a group of people looked up. It was a mirrored lake with a circumference of 1,000 feet. It was beautiful and colorful, and a relatively clear image was displayed. At this moment in time, the scene in the image made their hairs stand on end. What entered their eyes? Countless ink-black demonic vines that were dozens of feet long twisted and twisted, covering the sky and earth, forming an ink-black sea of tendrils. With an unstoppable momentum, they continued to grow and spread throughout the scene. The crowd held their breaths, their hearts pounding. Terrifying. As long as there's life energy and heaven earth yuan qi, the demonic hell vine can grow endlessly. It's indeed worthy of being a disaster-grade forbidden vine. If it's not controlled, it can destroy an entire civilization. Some of the stronger figures couldn't help but sigh. These figures came from the 3 2-star sects, and the weakest was at the true lord rank. There were also many sovereigns. Of course. Many figures were in awe as they looked up at the 3 majestic existences in the sky. Within a radius of several thousand miles, 3 indescribable, mighty forces could be sensed. Looking at them with the naked eye, they looked like 3 balls of divine light. The golden skeleton radiating an aura of death, the moon-robed female, and the demonic king shrouded in black mist. 3 Void God Realm Kings. They were like 3 statues that had existed since ancient times and hadn't changed at all. For Void God Realm Kings with long lifespans, 3 years was just an instant to close their eyes and comprehend. Saint Moon Ant Goddess, in order to stop that brat, you actually used this forbidden demonic vine seed you obtained from the sacred land of spirit. The golden skeleton was slightly surprised. The 3 Void God Realm Kings looked at the center of the mysterious canyon and the scene of the demonic vines. Among them, the scene of Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader fighting the vines could be seen. The 3 Void God Realm Kings weren't surprised at all by Zhao Feng's existence. This brat has been disrupting our plans ever since he returned to the Purple Saint Ruins. He's a threat that we can't control. Not to mention, this Zhao Feng killed many of my sect's true disciples back then and openly made an enemy of the Pure Moon spiritual sect. He naturally has to pay the price. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess's heavenly voice gradually revealed a trace of coldness. So, the moment Zhao Feng returned to the Purple Saint Ruins, the 3 sects sensed him. Beside the Saint Moon Ant Goddess was a mottled giant scorpion. Its body was comparable to a buffalo, and it had a pair of icy red eyes that made one shudder. The aura of the mutated giant scorpion had already reached the true spirit level. Its eyes moved, motionlessly staring at Zhao Feng in the image. If Zhao Feng was here, he would definitely be shocked. The cub scorpion from back then had reached the true mystic rank in just a few years. The scorpion's rapid growth was obviously due to the Void God Realm King's nurturing. As Zhao Feng's spiritual pet, the stronger the giant scorpion cub was, the stronger the mysterious connection between it and its master would be. Ha! That brat won't be able to last long with these vines. This loophole will become a shortcut that our 3 sects have opened. The demonic Tao King surrounded by black mist laughed loudly. At this moment, in the depths of the canyon, Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader were busy dealing with the crazy vines. The experts of the 3 sects could clearly see what was going on in the recording. Of course, the image only contained images and no sound. Zhao Feng, if you don't use your killing move, the entire ruins will be doomed once the vines start spreading. The skeletal division leader urged. The skeletal division leader's power of death was even more useful than the elements of wind, lightning, and fire. This was because the skeletal division leader's Yin of death was extremely corrosive to life and plants. If I want to instantly kill these vines, I'll need to use the Jade Dragon Protection or the Ice Imperial Spear. Zhao Feng's heart moved. This was also what the skeletal division leader was thinking. If he used the Jade Dragon Protection, he should be able to sweep through the vines. If he used it with the Ice Imperial Spear, he would be able to freeze the entire area. No. Zhao Feng talked with the Purple Saint Partial Spirit before shaking his head. Don't forget. This area was the weakest part of the Purple Saint space and there was a big hole. If he used the Jade Dragon Protection, the weak point in this area would probably expand in an instant. The consequences would be unimaginable. In short, this area couldn't withstand too much power. Skeletal Division Leader, let's team up. Another thought appeared in Zhao Feng's mind. This thought came from the fact that the Skeletal Division Leader's power of death had a corrosive effect on the vines. Ghost Corpse Cursed Array. A black flag appeared in Zhao Feng's hand and he waved it. A total of 15 true Lord rank cursed ghost corpses appeared in the ocean of vines. These cursed ghost corpses lined up in a specific formation. Everything within 300 meters was suddenly shrouded in a thick, dark gray smoke. The powerful aura of the dead ghost corpses sealed off the entire area. The demonic hell vines that had fallen into the ghost corpse cursed array started to smoke as they were corroded by the strong aura of death and started to rot at a visible rate, leaving behind a puddle of putrid liquid. Not bad. Zhao Feng was surprised and overjoyed. The ghost corpse cursed array countered the vines better than he had imagined and could quickly erode their life force. Shoo 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 shoo, the demonic hell vines in this area quickly festered and turned into a large amount of disgusting and smelly mucus. So that's how it is. The Ghost Corpse Cursed Grand Formation contains the power of curses and resentment, which has a strong restraining effect on all living things in the world. The Skeletal Division leader paused and seemed to understand. The Ghost Corpse Cursed Array didn't just contain the power of the true Lord rank Ghost Corpses. It also contained the power of hatred and other negative mental energy curses. In the Azure Flower Continent, only the Scarlet Moon Patriarch and a few others could enter the 100 Graves Forbidden Ground and come out unscathed. The layout of the 100 Graves Forbidden Ground came from the force behind the Scarlet Moon demonic religion. After the Ghost Corpse Cursed Array appeared, the speed at which the demonic hell vines spread slowed down. However, it didn't stop. Zhao Feng. The vines have already spread 5 or 6 miles. We need to expand the Ghost Corpse Cursed Array. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit said. Open. Zhao Feng and the Skeletal Division leader worked together to expand the range of the Ghost Corpse Cursed Array. In just a couple breaths. The Ghost Corpse Cursed Array had already spread to a radius of 1 mile and was still expanding until it reached 2 miles. After expanding the range, the power of the Ghost Corpse Cursed Array decreased. However, most of the demonic hell vines hadn't fully matured yet and were easily suppressed by the array. Unfortunately, the 100 Corpse plan is only 15% complete. Zhao Feng was slightly regretful. If the 100 Corpse plan was half complete, he was confident that he could control the demonic hell vines that hadn't fully matured yet. At this point in time, Zhao Feng and the Skeletal Division leader were only barely able to stabilize the situation. In a short amount of time, the vines were still growing, but their speed had been slowed down. Both Zhao Feng and the Purple Saint Partial Spirit let out a breath. Zhao Feng. It's all thanks to you. If we were half the time it takes for an incense stick to burn, the Purple Saint ruins would have been in danger. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit said gratefully. Zhao Feng's expression was solemn. The danger had only been stopped, but it hadn't stopped. Skeletal Division leader, help me with the Ghost Corpse Cursed Array. Zhao Feng suddenly said. He then handed the array flag over to the Skeletal Division leader. I can only last an hour at most. The Skeletal Division leader nodded its head. The Skeletal Division leader's strength wasn't much weaker than a true Origin Core realm. He might be able to control the Ghost Corpse Cursed Array even more easily than Zhao Feng. At the same time, in the limitless ocean, on top of a mountain, the figures of the 3 sects stared at the image and couldn't help but be surprised. I didn't think that Zhao Feng would have someone at the Origin Core realm helping him. What kind of array is that? It's so effective against the demonic hell vines. Everyone discussed curiously. The 3 Void God Realm Kings looked at each other. Why are you all looking at me? The Golden Skeleton King said uncomfortably. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess and the Demonic Tao Sovereign both had questioning gazes. The array formed by the Ghost Corpses also contains a curse that counters living beings. It seems to be related to your Black Cliff Palace. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess said. The Black Cliff Palace isn't the only one that knows this technique. Some of the stronger 1-star sects and even the Moon Demon Palace have also researched this technique. The Golden Skeleton said in disdain. Hearing that, the Saint Moon Ant Goddess and the Demonic Tao King didn't pursue the matter. There's no need to worry. With limited manpower, those 2 won't be able to last long. The Golden Skeleton said in a deep tone. At his level, he had a clear understanding of the Ghost Corpse Cursed Formation even if he only saw one image. However, as soon as he finished speaking, the image started to change. The scene in the scryer image trembled slightly, and dust billowed into the air. So with his naked eyes, he saw hundreds of powerful demonic beasts charging over from the outside of the canyon. These beasts were all at the True Spirit realm, and the strongest had reached the peak True Lord rank. Their battle power was comparable to a half-step origin core realm. Charge! Zhao Feng's blue hair blew in the wind as he waved his hand in the air. In that instant, his god's spiritual eye flashed and released a terrifying eye bloodline aura. He controlled an army of several hundred beasts at the true spirit realm by himself. Boom! The earth shook and dust rose. The roars of the beasts shook one's heart. At this moment, the army of several hundred beasts at the true spirit realm charged into the ocean of demonic vines, and a multicolored aura formed a storm that enveloped the area. Large swathes of demonic hell vines were either crushed or turned into ashes. Although the range of the demonic hell vines was large and countered living beings, thousands, or even tens of thousands of normal beasts would only serve as nourishment for the vines. However, the beasts that Zhao Feng controlled were all at the true spirit realm and had unimaginable power. Chapter 539. At this moment in time, the unstoppable demonic hell vines were finally suppressed for the first time, and their growth was completely stopped. Boom! The army of several hundred true spirit realm beasts was ferocious, and everywhere they passed, the demonic hell vines were mercilessly crushed. In a short amount of time, the ocean of vines started to show signs of collapsing, and the area it covered started to shrink. It's finally stabilized. The purple saint partial spirit on the third floor let out a breath. At the critical moment, Zhao Feng's god's spiritual eye was able to turn the situation around. Controlling an army of several hundred true spirit realm beasts was something that normal beast tamers couldn't even imagine. Above the limitless ocean, on top of a mountain, he can control so many true spirit realm beasts. How did that brat do it? Even if he tamed them beforehand, a measly true lord rank can't control an army of 400 to 500 true spirit realm beasts. The change in the image caused the expressions of the experts from the three sects to change. The expressions of the three void god realm kings became solemn. They obviously didn't expect that the demonic hell vines, who had won in numbers, would face such a situation. The seed of the demonic hell vine has been stored for too long, and its power hasn't fully awakened yet. It might not even be able to use half of its power. Furthermore, the demonic hell vine was killed before it could grow. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess murmured. The three void god realm kings stared at everything that was happening. Hee. Under certain circumstances, the human wave tactic is still useful. The blue-haired youth floated in the air and used his left eye to control the army of several hundred true spirit realm beasts. Unbelievably, the beasts that were controlled were split into close combat, long range, and support groups that looked after each other. Some beasts specialized in burrowing into the ground and killing the roots of the vines. There were also flying beasts that were responsible for rescuing others, and those that were trapped by the vines would provide long-range support. This scene caused the experts of the three sects to gape. Such control, that brat's eye bloodline is indeed not simple. The golden skeleton sighed. A few years ago, when Zhao Feng fought against the disciples of the three sects on his own, he displayed extraordinary eye bloodline techniques and mental eye bloodline techniques. And this time, Zhao Feng's god's spiritual eye's incomparable control had once again toppled the world's horizons. The three void god realm kings had to admit that it was hard to find even one or two people with such an eye bloodline in the younger generation of the three forces. In the mysterious canyon. In the process of the demonic vine's defeat, the demonic beast army also suffered some losses. However, Zhao Feng did not feel any heartache at all. This was because there were too many beasts in the Purple Saint ruins. Even if he didn't sacrifice some, the beasts would kill each other in this limited space. Zhao Feng, well done. The Purple Saint partial spirit's happy voice sounded. Human, it's all thanks to you this time. The towering tree monster's voice sounded. Because they were in the center of the mysterious canyon, the towering tree demon was the first to suffer when the demonic hell vines overflowed. The crazy growth of the demonic vine also caused the towering tree demon's territory to face disaster. Zhao Feng floated in the air expressionlessly. Would the three sects give up so easily? Zhao Feng did not think so. The purple saint ruins represented enough to make any two-star sect go red with greed. On top of the mountain, the demonic hell vines are the stepping stone of the purple saint ruins invasion. If we fail, the later plans will probably be affected. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess said. Suddenly, she became the leader of the three two-star sects that invaded the Purple Saint ruins. The other two Void God Realm Kings listened to her. Sirs, the spatial splitting array has been prepared, but it can only support small items at the beginning. Once it reaches the true spirit realm, there will be a lot of danger. A voice sounded from the other side of the mountain. A mysterious array formed from cold silver lines appeared above the limitless ocean. The mysterious, space-splitting formation was jointly managed by dozens of formation masters. Standing at the very front were three formation masters. The one in the middle was a silver-eyed handsome youth. He was the owner of the voice. All the array masters present, including the two array masters, were filled with respect towards the silver-eyed youth. Grandmaster Yin Kong, I hope you can strengthen the spatial splitting array and stabilize the sky meridian as soon as possible. Before that, please send a few drops of origin life force over. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess said. Even the three Void God Realm Kings were respectful towards this silver-haired youth. This was because Grandmaster Yin Kong was one of the four array masters of the Tianlu Islands. Furthermore, he was one of the four great array formation grandmasters who specialized in space-type array formations. The most unique thing was that this Grandmaster Yin Kong also had a powerful eye bloodline, and apparently, it was a spatial bloodline. Origin life force? Grandmaster Yin Kong paused and was slightly surprised. The origin life force was similar to the elixir of life. The difference was that the former not only had the ability to extend one's life, but it also contained limitless life force. Legend has it. A drop of the life original fluid could turn a dead land with a radius of 100 miles into a fertile land. It could be used to plant all kinds of spiritual herbs, which could supply the vitality for 1,000 years. From this, just how terrifying was the effect of one drop of origin life force. At this moment in time, the Saint Moon Ant Goddess was about to send a few drops of origin life force to the Purple Saint ruins to support the demonic hell vines. Thinking up to here, Grandmaster Yin Kong's heart shook. Once the demonic hell vines absorbed the origin life force, the consequences would be unimaginable. Saint Moon Ant Goddess, you're really willing to go all out. Even in the spiritual sacred land, this origin life force is extremely rare. The demonic Tao King couldn't help but sigh. Let's do it like this, drop by drop. Otherwise, it'll be too much of a waste. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess said. Mysterious Canyon. The demonic hell vines' weakening became more and more obvious, and their range had already shrunk to 1 mile. If this continued, the demonic hell vines would soon be killed, and they wouldn't have a chance to grow. The skeletal division leader let out a breath, and it became easier to maintain the ghost corpse cursed array. Right at this moment. Zhao Feng's god's spiritual eye seemed to sense something. See, a majestic and terrifying life force emerged from the center of the demonic hell vine out of thin air. At this moment, Zhao Feng's god's spiritual eye caught a ripple in space. Zhao Feng, watch out. That is a drop of primary life fluid. It can provide a huge amount of vitality to help the demonic hell vine grow. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit's voice was filled with panic. As soon as she finished, the demonic hell vines seemed to have eaten a stimulant, and their auras started to rise. The situation was like a sponge meeting water. In the blink of an eye, the demonic hell vines in the center had grown to dozens of yards. The demonic hell vines that had just shrunk quickly expanded to 2 to 3 miles and continued to expand. This scene made Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader jump up in fright. Stop it! Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader split up. The former controlled the beast army, while the latter maintained the ghost corpse cursed array. A bloodthirsty aura appeared in the center of the ocean of vines, as if a powerful existence had awakened. Demonic Hell Vine King. It was an enormous creature that was made up of hundreds of ink-black vines. It was in the shape of a squid, and it had hundreds of tendrils that were more than 100 feet long. Among them, the thickest one was 300 to 400 feet long. Even though it had just been born, the demonic Hell Vine King's body was already close to the towering tree Yao's. Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader both heard the purple saint partial spirit's warning. Under the effect of the origin life force, not only did the demonic Hell Vine King increase in size, a Vine King was also born in the center. Kill the demonic vine before it matures. Once it reaches the origin core realm, it'll be troublesome. The purple saint partial spirit quickly said. At this moment, the demonic Hell Vine King was only at the half-step origin core realm, but its life force was close to the towering tree Yao. Boom! As soon as the army of beasts that Zhao Feng controlled got close to the demonic Hell Vine King, they were entangled by the vines and started to suck their blood. In the end, not only did the demonic Hell Vine King not suffer any damage, it became even more powerful, and the sea of vines extended further. This won't do. Normal beasts that haven't reached the half-step origin core realm are nothing but nourishment to it. The skeletal division leader panicked. The ghost corpse cursed array was able to suppress normal vines, but it couldn't threaten the demonic Hell Vine King at all. On top of the mountain. The change in the image made the experts of the three sects overjoyed. As expected of the origin life force. Just one drop was enough to turn the situation around. If a few more drops were sent in, wouldn't the Vine King reach the origin core realm? The golden skeletal division leader laughed. Zhe, that brat's beast army isn't afraid of death. It's helping the Vine King grow. The demonic Tao sovereign shrouded in black qi laughed gloatingly. In the image, Zhao Feng's beast army could only deal with the vines on the outskirts. They couldn't even get close to the Vine King. As long as the Vine King reaches the origin core realm, even those at the origin core realm will have to retreat, let alone kill it. At that time, the situation will be settled. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess smiled faintly. Her gaze turned toward Grandmaster Yin Kong and was about to tell him to send in more origin life force. What's that brat doing? Exclamations came from the crowd. Boom! Inside the mysterious canyon, at least 100 demonic beasts charged into the gray smoke enveloped by the ghost corpse cursed formation. Zhao Feng, what are you? The skeletal division leader jumped up in fright as it was maintaining the ghost corpse cursed array. Zhao Feng didn't move as he controlled more than 100 beasts at the true spirit realm to charge into the dark clouds. What was even weirder was that, after the beasts charged into the ghost corpse cursed array, they didn't move at all and let the powerful aura of death corrode them, turning them into puddles of blood. Suddenly, the dark gray smoke where the ghost corpse cursed formation was located was filled with blood-colored flames and all kinds of soul-shaking negative mental energy. In just a few breaths, the power of the ghost corpse cursed array increased dramatically, and the power of the curse increased by more than double. The surrounding sea of vines festered and turned into filthy mucus. Instead of giving it to the Vine King, it's better to give it to the ghost corpse cursed array. Skeletal division leader. Kill these beasts and expand the array. Chapter 540. Skeletal division leader. Kill these beasts and expand the array. Zhao Feng's voice was filled with coldness and killing intent. Inside the ghost corpse cursed grand formation, thick gray smoke rose up, giving birth to surging, blood-colored flames. More than 100 powerful demonic beasts died one by one inside the formation, turning into puddles of blood. The blood essence of these true spirit realm beasts was of high quality, and the negative power of hatred after their death was even greater. In a short while, The hundreds of true spirit realm beasts all died, and the ghost corpse cursed array's power and range kept on increasing. This move is too strong. The skeletal division leader waved the black flag excitedly and guided the power of the ghost corpse cursed array. The 15 cursed ghost corpses within the ghost corpse cursed array absorbed a large amount of blood essence and their auras became stronger. At this point in time, large patches of vines started to rot in the area that was eroded by the ghost corpse cursed array. Of course, the sea of demonic vines had the powerful power of the life original fluid. Although a part of it had been destroyed, it was still growing. However, the ghost corpse cursed array was still able to suppress the vines, but it wasn't able to threaten the Vine King in the center. This change in situation made the purple saint partial spirit reveal a joyful expression. Using these beasts as nourishment to raise the cursed ghost corpses will increase the power of the curse. This Xiao Feng really knows how to come up with a plan. Limitless ocean, mountain peak. This brat isn't just difficult to deal with. There's no need to worry. Almost half of his beast army has died. He won't be able to last much longer. The experts of the three sects discussed in low tones. At this moment, the experts of the three sects hated Xiao Feng. The three Void God Realm Kings fell into a short silence. A measly true Lord rank genius was able to fight against a Void God Realm King and even turn the situation around. They had to admit how terrifying he was. Grandmaster Yin Kong was also paying attention to the blue-haired young man in the scryer image. The blue-haired youth was fighting against the three Void God Realm Kings. Even though he wasn't involved, he admired the blue-haired youth. Grandmaster Yin Kong. Prepare the second drop of the life original fluid. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess's voice sounded. All right. Grandmaster Yin Kong agreed and began to deliver the second drop of original life fluid. At the center of the mysterious canyon, the ghost corpse cursed formation emitted the aura of death and the power of the curse. It had already enveloped an area of 2 to 3 li, and it was competing with the demonic Vine King in the center of the Tingxi. It's a pity that the 100 corpse plan is only 15% complete. With such a large area, it's hard to threaten the Vine King. Xiao Feng was paying attention to the situation while commanding the demonic beast army. Now, there were only 1 to 200 demonic beasts left under his control. Some of them were responsible for removing the remaining demonic vines, while the others were responsible for feeding the ghost corpse formation. At this moment, Xiao Feng sensed something again and caught a trace of obscure space fluctuation. Buzz, a vast amount of life force was born in the center of the Sea of Vines. At the moment of its birth, Xiao Feng captured a drop of mysterious liquid that was similar to the elixir of life, but it was much larger and more powerful. Not good. The second drop of life original fluid. The purple saint partial spirit warned. Just one drop of the elixir of life had created a terrifying demonic Vine King and caused the demonic Hell Vine King to retaliate. Now, a second drop had appeared. Xiao Feng and the skeletal division leader felt their scalps go numb. As expected, the sea of vines that had been suppressed suddenly grew wildly and rebounded with an unstoppable force. The tentacles of the demonic Hell Vine King in the middle were at least dozens of feet long. In just a few breaths, the Vine King's aura had surpassed normal half-step origin core realms and was comparable to a sovereign. Whoosh! The demonic Hell Vine King waved its tentacles, which were like dragons that could kill normal true spirit realms. There were over 100 tentacles waving at the same time. Whoosh! Whoosh! The expanding ghost corpse cursed array was hit by the Vine King, and black smoke started to rise. The dark smoke started to dissipate, and its power started to decrease. Master, if this continues, the ghost corpse cursed array won't be able to last much longer. The skeletal division leader cried out bitterly. Human, save me. The towering tree Yao not far away was also attacked by the demonic Hell Vine King. In terms of life force, the towering tree Yao should be on the same level as the demonic Hell Vine King. However, the demonic Hell Vine King was a forbidden being that could absorb life force and keep on growing. Unfortunately, the towering tree Yao had become its nourishment. Not only would the towering tree Yao not be able to fight it, but it would also be countered. Go! Zhao Feng's expression became grim, and madness appeared in his eyes as he threw all the remaining beasts into the ghost corpse cursed array. When the power of the ghost corpse cursed array increased once more. However, the ghost corpse cursed array could only slow down the rate of the vine attack. On top of the mountain, ha ha ha. That brat's done. Without any beasts to control, it'll be hard for him to turn the situation around. Looks like 1 or 2 more drops of elixir of life will be enough for the Vine King to reach the origin core realm. The eyes of the experts of the 3 sects twinkled with excitement. Seeing Zhao Feng suppressed, everyone felt as if their anger had been vented. From the Purple Saint Inheritance battle to the Purple Saint invasion, Zhao Feng had managed to turn the tide and make the 3 sects suffer. Unknowingly, the experts of the 3 sects started to feel wary and hateful towards this youth. Even the 3 Void God Realm Kings didn't dare to underestimate Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng. I admit that I lost to you in the Purple Saint Inheritance battle. But this time, there are several Void God Realm Kings and an array Grandmaster present. You won't be able to escape this. In the crowd, a fairy-like woman in a green dress murmured to herself. The green-robed woman was beautiful and fresh, like a falling leaf. However, her clear eyes were still filled with hatred and killing intent as she stared at the blue-haired youth in the image. It was Yi Yanyu. In the past few years, Yi Yanyu had been heavily affected by the Purple Saint ruins and had been cultivating hard. Half a month ago, when she learned of the situation here, and that the nightmare young man from back then had appeared once more, she immediately rushed over. Many core disciples that had entered the Purple Saint ruins back then also rushed over. For example, Lu Tianyi, Qi Gui, and company had also arrived. Of these people, Lu Tianyi was the strongest. He had reached the origin core realm not long ago and was one of the top 3 core disciples of the Pure Moon spiritual sect. Saint Moon Ant Goddess, 1 or 2 more drops of elixir of life should be enough for the Vine King to reach the origin core realm. The golden skeleton revealed an expectant expression. Once the demonic Hell Vine King reached the origin core realm, its battle power would rise to a whole new level. Zhao Feng. If the demonic Hell Vine King reaches the origin core realm, even sovereigns will have to retreat. No one in the Purple Saint ruins will be able to threaten it. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit's voice sounded. The skeletal division leader's heart clenched. It would be hard for it to kill the demonic Hell Vine King in its current state. Once it broke through, the consequences would be unimaginable. Of course, neither Zhao Feng nor the skeletal division leader were afraid of the Vine King. They were afraid of the entire ocean of vines. The ocean of vines would stall Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader at the same time. If there's 1 or 2 more drops of elixir of life, everything will be for naught. Zhao Feng couldn't help but take a deep breath. This time, his opponents would be the upper echelon of the 3 sects, and there might even be Void God Realm Kings behind them. This was because Void God Realm Kings were one of the requirements to enter a 2-star sect. However, the more one was afraid of something, the more likely it was to happen. Suddenly, Zhao Feng sensed another spatial ripple similar to the one before. I can't. Zhao Feng circulated his god's spiritual eye to the maximum. At this moment, his left eye was like a deep ocean, surging with eye bloodline power and unleashing unimaginable potential. Within the dimension of his left eye, the eye force lake was around 30 meters wide, and the whirlpool in the center spun rapidly, creating ripples of eye force that gave off a dreamy glow. Lock on. Zhao Feng's god's spiritual eye used a sealing ability similar to the Golden Sun family's sacred eye bloodline. Once this ability was used, the area that was locked onto would be restricted by his eye bloodline power. When wisps of transparent eye bloodline power seeped into the air and locked onto the area where the wisp of unusual spatial energy was coming from. The instant the space fluctuated, a drop of mysterious liquid the size of a finger appeared, emitting a vast and pure life force. It's here. Zhao Feng's heart jumped. Pang! Pang! Zhao Feng's heartbeat and God's spiritual eye started to speed up. The instant the elixir of life appeared, Zhao Feng used his eye bloodline power to restrict the area. Therefore, the moment the elixir of life appeared, it seemed to freeze in the air. The skeletal division leader felt this change, and the purple saint partial spirit saw it as well. It could be predicted. This was the moment that would decide their fate. Once the demonic hell vine gained a foothold in the Purple Saint space station and paved the way for the three sects, the consequences would be unimaginable. Wu the demonic hell vine king felt the existence of the elixir of life and grabbed it with its tentacles. Furthermore, the elixir of life was only restricted by Zhao Feng's eye bloodline power, so its life force could still leak. Go! Madness appeared on Zhao Feng's face as he instinctively used his eye bloodline power to control the elixir of life and try to take it away. In reality, with Zhao Feng's powerful eye bloodline power, it wasn't hard for him to control normal objects as long as they weren't too big. However, the problem was, the elixir of life appeared in the center of the ocean of vines and was extremely close to the Vine King. If the Vine King moved slightly, countless vines would be able to seal off an area. Whoosh! Countless vines blocked the elixir of life's escape route. As long as it was touched, the power of the elixir of life would spread and everything would be for naught. It's over. The skeletal division leader's heart dropped. The purple saint partial spirit, who was on the third floor, also felt her heart jump into her throat. No matter how the elixir of life tried to escape, it would be doomed. Disappear. Zhao Feng gritted his teeth and had an insane expression. He had almost lost his mind. The eye bloodline power in his left eye circulated rapidly, forming a small whirlpool. At the critical moment, a sudden change occurred. The eye power ripples hovering around the life original fluid vaguely showed the outline of a vortex, which created an illusion of overlapping space. Schwa! The elixir of life disappeared. At the moment when the Sea of Teng pounced towards them, they disappeared into thin air. Chapter 541. Disappear. Whoosh! The demonic vines that covered the sky and sealed off the entire area all missed their target. At that instant, the experts of the three sects on the towering mountain were all dumbfounded. Deathly silence. Even some of the primal core realm sovereigns had their eyes wide open. A breath or two later, the crowd broke out into chaos. What's going on? Why did that drop of origin life force disappear? Could it be that there was a problem with the spatial splitting array? Everyone broke out into discussion. Some people suspected that the origin life force had disappeared. However, the three Void God Realm Kings and Grandmaster Yin Kong, who was in charge of the space-splitting array, were sure that the origin life force had been successfully delivered. Could it be that? Grandmaster Yin Kong's silver eyes narrowed. Thinking back, the origin life force had been transferred over to the Vine King, but it had disappeared without a trace. If it had been taken away, they would at least be able to see where it had gone. However, the scene just now did not have any pattern to follow. Impossible. Could it be that Brat's eye bloodline can affect space? The three Void God realms looked at each other. At this point in time, the hearts of the experts on the mountain started to shake. That scene just now was too weird. Yi Yanyu and the other core disciples that had interacted with Zhao Feng before were in disbelief. Last time in the ruins, Zhao Feng had also displayed all sorts of eye bloodline techniques that shocked everyone present. However, no matter what, those eye bloodlines could be traced, and it was possible to find similar techniques. However, the scene in front of them making an object disappear into thin air. Wasn't this too unreasonable? Within the mysterious canyon, it disappeared. The skeletal division leader's eyeballs were about to pop out of their sockets. The purple Saint Partial Spirit, who was hiding behind the scenes, paused. Zhao Feng floated in the air as his blue hair blew in the wind. A small whirlpool could be seen in the center of his left eye. Within the dimension of his left eye, a drop of origin life fluid floated in the pitch-black space above the eye power lake. Just now, that was... Zhao Feng was bewildered. If it weren't for the drop of origin life fluid floating in the dimension of his left eye, he would have doubted whether what happened was real or just an accident. But the truth was right before their eyes. That drop of life original fluid had been taken in by his god's spiritual eye out of thin air. Moreover, this kind of extraction was a spatial ability similar to void escape. It had no trace. This was similar to the little thieving cat being able to enter someone else's interspatial dimension. Zhao Feng's new eye bloodline ability was even more incredible. He could move an object into the dimension of his left eye. Lord King, what happened just now might have been an accident. Let's try again. Grandmaster Yin Kong suggested. He had a guess in his heart and a strong desire to confirm it. All right. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess nodded. In any case, the Sea of Demonic Vines still held the advantage and Zhao Feng did not have any new Fey beasts to control. Delivery. With Grandmaster Yin Kong leading the way, the Array Masters opened the spatial splitting array. At the center of the space splitting array, a layer of bright silver cracks could be vaguely seen, forming something that looked like a cave. Strange waves were spreading from the other end of the cracks. Soon, Grandmaster Yin Kong placed the second drop of origin life force into the cave. This time, I'll send the origin life force directly into the Vine King's body. Grandmaster Yin Kong snickered coldly. The previous times, he had only sent the origin life force into the middle of the Sea of Vines. This time, he needed to send it into the Vine King's body, which was 10 times more difficult. At the moment of transfer, Master Yin Kong's silver eyes shone with a mysterious silver light. Shua! The delivery was successful. A proud smile appeared on Grandmaster Yin Kong's face. To be able to teleport a single object to such a precise degree, perhaps only he, a master of spatial formations, could do it. Mysterious Canyon, it's here again. Zhao Feng's heart jumped. His god's spiritual eye had been locked onto the area where the Vine King was. The spatial ripple was locked onto by Zhao Feng the moment it appeared. This time, the location where the origin life force appeared was unimaginably strange. It appeared within the demonic Hell Vine King's body. In other words, as soon as the origin life force appeared, it would be absorbed by the demonic Hell Vine King. The skeletal division leader couldn't even sense this. However, the purple Saint Partial Spirit saw it clearly. Damn it. Disappear. The power of Zhao Feng's left eye circulated to the maximum. A transparent ripple appeared in the area where the spatial ripple had appeared, and the outline of a whirlpool appeared in the center. In that instant, space seemed to twist and overlap. Shua! The origin life force was sucked away by a mysterious power as soon as it appeared. The demonic Hell Vine King continued to furiously wave its vines, as if it didn't sense anything. It was as if the origin life force had never appeared in the Purple Saint ruins before. At the same time, Shua! A second drop of origin life force appeared in the dimension of Zhao Feng's left eye. Hee, Zhao Feng. Well done. The only person who could see the entire process was the Purple Saint Partial Spirit, the core intent of this dimension. Even the 3 Void God Realm Kings outside couldn't see it clearly. It wasn't that their senses weren't strong. The 3 Void God Realm Kings could only see what was happening in the Purple Saint ruins through the images. They couldn't see what was happening within the demonic Hell Vine King's body either. Grandmaster Yin Kong, what's the situation? The Saint Moon Ant Goddess eyebrows furrowed as she looked at Grandmaster Yin Kong. Why wasn't there any reaction? Everyone was puzzled. They could only watch as Grandmaster Yin Kong sent the drop of origin life force away. Lord King, I successfully sent that drop of origin life force into the Vine King's body, but Zhao Feng used some sort of spatial ability to take it away. Grandmaster Yin Kong said bitterly. Take it away. Many powerful auras present exclaimed in shock. At this moment in time, the three Void God Realm Kings also looked at Grandmaster Yin Kong and waited for his explanation. According to my analysis, Zhao Feng's eye bloodline has a spatial ability. To put it simply, it was to transfer an object from one space to another. It's like how I sent the origin life force into the Purple Saint ruins through the spatial cave. However, this ability of Zhao Feng's is even weirder. Grandmaster Yin Kong took a deep breath. His next explanation touched on the laws of space, so only the three Void God Realm Kings and some sovereigns could understand. So that's how it is. If that's the case, then Zhao Feng's eye bloodline is far more terrifying than we imagined. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess murmured. Could he be a descendant of a god eye? Someone in the crowd said, and it caused an uproar. Now that the situation had developed to this point, even though the three major sects still had the upper hand, everyone felt a strong sense of defeat. Once they failed, most people would look for a reasonable excuse. A descendant of a god eye. Impossible. There's no such thing in the 8 great god eyes. Grandmaster Yin Kong immediately shook his head. The three Void God Realm Kings didn't doubt his words at all. It was obvious. Grandmaster Yin Kong had a certain understanding of the 8 great god eyes, and he even knew the legendary abilities of each god eye. Okay, everyone, stop being suspicious. After all, Grandmaster Yin Kong has a bloodline connection to the spacetime god eye, one of the 8 great god eyes. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess stopped everyone's suspicions. The discussion stopped. The three Void God Realm Kings and Grandmaster Yin Kong started to discuss. There's another way. We can use the life force of the origin life force to slowly seep into it. Grandmaster Yin Kong suggested. There's only 2 drops of origin life force left. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess nodded her head. Mysterious Canyon. After 2 dangerous encounters, Zhao Feng's back was drenched in cold sweat. His eyes were filled with shock and excitement. When suddenly, a steady stream of vitality surged around the demonic Hell Vine King and was absorbed by the demonic Hell Vine King and the Sea of Vines. In an instant, the Sea of Vines and the Vine King at the center were both growing in size and aura. The transfer of vitality was a continuous process, not a certain point in time. The other side isn't an idiot. Zhao Feng's heart shook. The god's spiritual eye's teleportation ability could only be used at a certain point in time. Every time it was used, Zhao Feng's eye bloodline power would be expended. Just the 2 attacks just now had used 20 to 30% of Zhao Feng's eye bloodline power. It was even more than the eye of heaven. Even Zhao Feng felt powerless against this endless flow of vitality energy. Zhao Feng. The Ghost Corp's cursed array can't hold on for much longer. The Skeletal Division leader exclaimed as the pressure increased. On the other side, the power of the life original fluid continued to pour into the demonic Hell Vine King, and the sea of demonic vines were getting stronger and stronger. At this point in time, the ocean of vines had already spread to a radius of 5 or 6 miles, completely suppressing the Ghost Corp's cursed array. Once the Ghost Corp's cursed array collapsed, even if Zhao Feng and the Skeletal Division leader teamed up, they wouldn't be able to stop the growth of the ocean of vines. Ha ha ha. That brat can't do anything now, right? His beast army is already dead. He can't control any more beasts. The experts of the 3 sects on top of the towering mountain smiled. At this moment, Zhao Feng seemed to be at the end of his rope. His wind lightning technique was countered by the vines to a certain extent, and he couldn't control his beast army. The demonic Hell Vine King's strength was slowly approaching the origin core realm. Every minute that passed meant that the danger of the Purple Saint ruins would increase. There's only one way left. Zhao Feng murmured. Shua. With a flash of lightning, Zhao Feng disappeared. Zhao Feng. Why did you run? The skeletal division leader exclaimed as it maintained the ghost corpse cursed array. Shua. In almost an instant, Zhao Feng landed on the towering tree Yao's back. Human, if you don't go fight the vines, you won't be able to escape even if you come here. The towering tree Yao howled. Brother Tree Yao, let's fight together. Success or failure will be decided in the next moment. Zhao Feng smiled faintly. After saying that, his god's spiritual eye released a shocking eye bloodline power that seemed to extend into an abyss and locked onto the demonic Hell Vine King. Zhao Feng, are you thinking of? The skeletal division leader's heart jumped. He faintly guessed that Zhao Feng was a little too crazy. Skeletal division leader, hold on for a bit longer. Zhao Feng nodded his head and didn't deny it. He wanted to try that method, but he didn't have 100% chance of succeeding by himself. However, with the help of the towering tree Yao, he had an 80% chance. Chapter 542. Zhao Feng's actions caused the experts outside to be surprised. Is that brat at his wit's end? Hee, the ghost corpse cursed array won't last long. The Vine King will reach the Origin Core realm in less than an hour, and the ocean of vines will cover 10 miles. In everyone's eyes, Zhao Feng seemed to have given up on the ghost corpse cursed array, and he didn't have any beasts to control. However, when Zhao Feng landed on the towering tree Yao, the expressions of Lu Tianyi, Yi Yanyu, Zhuang Wan, Qi Gui, and the other geniuses changed dramatically. Back then, when Zhao Feng teamed up with the towering tree Yao, that undefeatable figure was still fresh in their minds. And today, Zhao Feng landed on the towering tree Yao once more. His figure was extremely small in front of the towering tree Yao. Human, what do you want me to do? The towering tree Yao didn't dare to underestimate this youth. There's not much time left. I need your wood spirit essence soul to help me deal with the Vine King. Zhao Feng's voice was urgent. The skeletal division leader wouldn't be able to hold on for long. Once the ghost corpse cursed array collapsed and the Vine King reached the Origin Core realm, the Purple Saint ruins wouldn't be able to stop the ocean of vines. Zhao Feng. I can only last 10 breaths at most. The skeletal division leader's panicked voice sounded. 10 breaths. Zhao Feng's heart shook, and the Purple Saint partial spirit felt pressured. This meant that there was only 10 breaths left for Zhao Feng. Merge. Zhao Feng's left eye surged with eye bloodline power. It was like a limitless abyss that radiated an invisible mental energy aura that filled the air. When a surge of pure soul essence power flowed into Zhao Feng's soul from the leaves under his feet. Instantly, Zhao Feng's heart shook as that long-lost feeling of comfort appeared once more. His soul power was already on par with an Origin Core realm sovereign, and now that he had merged with the wood spirit essence soul, it had reached the level of a sovereign. Furthermore, in this state, Zhao Feng's psychic senses and intent domain were strengthened by the towering tree spirit's enormous roots. All sorts of concepts that he had been unable to comprehend in the past were touched at this moment. Phew! In that instant, Zhao Feng and the towering tree Yao seemed to become the center of a whirlpool of heaven-earth yuan qi. Limitless heaven-earth yuan qi surged toward them, and the power was countless times stronger than normal true lord ranks. The intent of the Origin Core realm. The skeletal division leader and the Purple Saint partial spirit's expressions changed. In his current state, Zhao Feng's soul power was comparable to that of a venerable. His intent level was also close to that of a venerable. This was all thanks to the amplification from the towering tree demon, which allowed Zhao Feng to increase his strength by half a level in a short period of time. Freeze! Zhao Feng stood among the branches and leaves, his blue hair dancing wildly. A strong surge of mental energy bloodline power covered the air and covered the Vine King. The Vine King roared madly as its twisting body suddenly froze. Is he thinking of the purple Saint Partial Spirit's heart moved? In the outside world. On the towering mountain, many of the experts from the three sects saw through the clues. It seems like his target is really the demonic Vine King. The Vine King's battle power is extremely close to a sovereign. Even a true sovereign wouldn't be able to kill it easily. Everyone discussed. In the image, the Vine King's body froze for a moment before it started to struggle. No. Zhao Feng probably doesn't want to kill the Vine King. Could it be that he wants to? Some people understood and their hearts shook. No wonder. A cold light flashed through Grandmaster Yin Kong's eyes. One could guess that Zhao Feng didn't want to kill the Vine King. That wasn't realistic. Furthermore, Zhao Feng couldn't use the Jade Dragon protection in this area. Hehe, does Zhao Feng want to control the Vine King? The Saint Moon Ant Goddess's laughter was like the sound of nature, making one feel like they were in a dream. The three Void God Realm Kings all saw through Zhao Feng's intentions. Zhe, this brat's ambition isn't small. Without any beasts to control, he's targeting the Vine King. The Golden Skeleton King had a playful expression. The Vine King's battle power is extremely close to a sovereign. Controlling it requires at least the power of a sovereign's soul. On top of that, the Vine King is huge and has some special characteristics. Even a venerable beast tamer would find it very difficult to tame it. The three Void God Realm Kings laughed casually, as if they weren't worried at all. They didn't believe that Zhao Feng, a brat at the true spirit realm, could have the soul power of a sovereign. Time seemed to slow down at this moment. That was because the Vine King's movements were becoming stiffer and slower, and the amount of strength it exerted was also becoming slower. 1 breath, 2 breaths, 3 breaths, 5 breaths. The expressions of the three Void God Realm Kings changed slightly. The hearts of the other three sects shook. How is this possible? Some of the sovereigns at the Origin Core realm revealed expressions of disbelief. In the Scryer recording, the demonic Hell Vine King, whose battle prowess was close to that of a venerable, was constantly being suppressed. After 5 breaths, the demonic Hell Vine King even had a feeling of calmness. The skeletal division leader was using a lot of effort to maintain the ghost-cursed array, but it felt like the pressure had lessened. Because the demonic Hell Vine King stopped its attack on the Ghost Corpse cursed formation. Only the remaining vines were still invading and spreading. Between the leaves, Zhao Feng's blue hair blew in the wind, and his expression was solemn. This Vine King's consciousness is so violent and bloodthirsty. It's a demonic existence. Zhao Feng's mental energy entered the Vine King's consciousness, but it was countered by the terrifying negative mental energy. At every moment, Zhao Feng had to endure the violent and bloodthirsty negative aura. It was extremely tiring. The Devil Vine King was not an ordinary creature. Its mind consciousness was violent and tyrannical. It was a completely devilized creature. Its every move was not completely controlled by its intelligence. It was because of this that Zhao Feng faced a lot of resistance when he tried to control the Vine King. In my current state, I have a 40 to 50% chance of controlling an Origin Core realm beast. The difficulty of controlling this Vine King is on par with the former. Zhao Feng kept on condensing his eye bloodline power. No matter what, he still had the advantage. In a short amount of time, Zhao Feng could barely influence the Vine King and make it calm down, reducing the pressure on the skeletal division leader. However, Zhao Feng wasn't able to truly control the Vine King yet. Eye of Heaven. Zhao Feng circulated his eye bloodline power to the extreme, surpassing the limits of his physical body. Shua. In that instant, Zhao Feng's consciousness jumped into the clouds. A transparent blue eye of heaven floated in the air and looked down coldly. In the eye of heaven state, Zhao Feng's eye bloodline techniques and his own intent had reached a new level, and his control had reached a limit. Get down. In the soul dimension, a cold and overbearing voice resounded, as if 10,000 thunders were striking him. Boom! The enormous Vine King shuddered, and all of its tentacles trembled as if they were submitting to the feet of an ancient god. Immediately after, the attacks of the demonic hell vines within a mile or two started to decrease, as if they had received some sort of order. The Vine King stopped attacking, and it seems to be affecting the nearby vines. The skeletal division leader felt less pressure. It couldn't help but look up at the eye of heaven with wariness, shock, and admiration. He succeeded. On the third floor, the purple Saint Partial Spirit and Zhao Yufei were overjoyed. Shua! The eye of heaven disappeared after a couple breaths. Hee, skeletal division leader, you don't need to worry about the Vine King anymore. Get rid of the vines nearby. Zhao Feng faintly smiled as he stood amongst the leaves. The skeletal division leader paused for a moment before coming back to its senses. At this moment, the Vine King was under Zhao Feng's control, and all the vines within a mile or two had almost stopped attacking. The ones further away were only growing instinctively, and their momentum wasn't as strong as before. Under this situation, the skeletal division leader stabilized the ghost corpse cursed array and started to focus on the vines further away. Zhao Feng merged with the towering tree Yao's with spirit essence soul and controlled the Vine King. He even made it hurt some of its tentacles to fight with the other vines nearby. Although the Vine King had the support of the origin life force from the outside world, the Vine King's strength was under Zhao Feng's control. Half the time it took for half an incense stick to burn later. The vines within a mile of the Vine King started to shatter. The skeletal division leader used the ghost corpse cursed array to get rid of the nearby vines. The growth of the surrounding vines slowed down sharply due to the lack of the power of the Vine King's side. In the outside world, on top of the mountain, the expressions of the three kings were slightly ugly. The plan to use the demonic Hell Vine King as a powerful paving stone was ruined at this moment. Within the image, Zhao Feng controlled the Vine King and the situation turned around. Before long, only the Vine King and some broken vines were left in the area of the loophole. Close the array. Zhao Feng's figure flashed and merged with the skeletal division leader. The ghost corpse cursed formation completely enveloped the Vine King and the nearby vines, slowly shrinking and compressing them. Under the cover of the gray smoke, parts of the Vine King's enormous body started to fester. Zhao Feng, you're not going to completely control the Vine King? The skeletal division leader was surprised. He meant for Zhao Feng to raise the Vine King as his spiritual pet. The Vine King's intelligence is very low, and its consciousness is chaotic. It's very hard to control. Furthermore, the reason it exists is to eat and grow. If it's not careful, it'll bring disaster. Zhao Feng explained. It was already extremely hard for him to control the Vine King. Time passed by slowly. The Vine King's body started to rot and the 15 ghost corpses within the ghost corpse cursed array's aura had reached the peak true lord rank and the power of the curse became even more terrifying. Before this, these ghost corpses had absorbed the blood essence of several hundred true spirit realm cultivators. Now that they had killed so many vines, they had absorbed an endless amount of negative mental energy. Although there's only 15 ghost corpses, their power is comparable to dozens of cursed ghost corpses. Zhao Feng nodded his head in his heart. An hour later, all the demonic hell vines in this area had been killed. The demonic hell Vine King's body started to shrink until it glowed with a black flame before fading away. Where it stood, all that was left was a hard, shriveled, and black seed. Demonic Hell Vine Seed. Chapter 543. Zhao Feng reached out his hand and picked up the demonic Hell Vine Seed that could bring destruction. Both Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader's eyes were filled with wariness toward this demonic vine seed. If I throw this seed into the azure flower continent and purposely grow it for a few days, it might bring destruction to the entire continent. Zhao Feng put the demonic hell vine seed into his ancient metal ring. This scene obviously fell into the eyes of the three void god realm kings. The value of a demonic hell vine seed was hard to estimate even for void god realm kings. In some battles, if the demonic hell vine seed was used properly, it could break the balance of the battle. Zhe, the Saint Moon Ant goddess, obtained this demonic hell vine seed from the spiritual sacred land. But now, it's in the hands of a true spirit realm ant. There's going to be a good show to watch. The golden skeleton and the demonic Tao King looked at each other with schadenfreude. The three two-star sects of the Tianlu Islands zone cooperated with each other, but they also had conflicts. Outwardly, the three sects were on the same side, but internally, they often had conflicts. In the last few thousand years, the Pure Moon spiritual sect had been the leader, and the Moon Demon Palace and the Black Cliff Palace had only been able to barely resist them. At this moment, the Golden Skeleton and the demonic Tao King were obviously happy to see the Saint Moon Ant Goddess suffer. Grandmaster Yin Kong, quickly consolidate your sky meridian. No matter what price the Pure Moon spiritual sect has to pay, we'll capture this Zhao Feng alive. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess's pure and dignified face turned cold. Instantly, a coldness and pressure that came from the soul filled the air within 1,000 miles. The experts of the three sects felt as if their consciousness had been locked, and an invisible coldness made their souls feel as if they had fallen into an ice cavern. You too, don't just stand around. Team up with me and stop the hole in the ruins from being repaired. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess's gaze swept over the other two Void God Realm Kings. At the same time, within the Purple Saint ruins, Zhao Feng and the Skeletal Division leader started to clean up the mess. The repair array has been destroyed in the battle just now, the Skeletal Division leader said. The most urgent task at hand was to rebuild the Grand Repair Formation. If they could fix all the flaws in the ruins, the chances of the three sects invading the Purple Saint ruins would be extremely low. At this moment, Zhao Feng sensed three powerful and suffocating auras coming from afar and entering the center of the mysterious canyon. Just a few wisps of the three auras were enough to put Zhao Feng's soul under tremendous pressure. At that moment, the Skeletal Division leader and Zhao Feng's consciousness started to tremble, and they felt as if they were worshipping Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng. 3 Void God Realm Kings have tried to stop the flaw from being repaired and even expand it. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit's voice sounded. 3 Void God Realm Kings. Zhao Feng and the Skeletal Division leader felt that if these 3 magnificent powers were right in front of them, they would be able to destroy their divine souls with just one thought. So this is a Void God Realm King. So terrifying. Zhao Feng's heart trembled. Even the Lord Sect Master back then did not possess such might. The Skeletal Division leader's soul trembled. The hearts of the two dropped. The joy and excitement brought by the victory was gone. Zhao Feng couldn't imagine that his opponents were such powerful existences. Don't worry, the Purple Saint Ruins is very far away from the Tianlu Islands. The 3 Void God Realm Kings are just using the power of the spatial array to send their auras in. On the other hand, their spatial array can't handle the power of a Void God Realm. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit smiled and said. Hearing that, Zhao Feng let out a breath. Putting aside him, even one-star sects like the Heavenly Yuan Clan and the Mystic Ice Palace were useless against a Void God Realm King. Zhao Feng. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit said solemnly, just do your best. Taking a step back, even if a Void God Realm King attacks the Purple Saint Ruins, I can destroy it with just a thought. I can even teleport you and Yufei away before I destroy the ruins. Even if you gave them 10,000 guts, the 3 empty God Realm would not dare to take the risk. I understand. Zhao Feng's heart calmed down, and he suddenly felt respect for the Purple Saint Partial Spirit. Even if they failed, Zhao Feng had a path of retreat. The purple saint partial spirit was already on the verge of death, and she wouldn't allow her inheritor to be harmed. She definitely wouldn't give this inheritance to those bandits. A period of time after that, Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader started to build a repair array and create new cursed ghost corpses. The array was set up to repair the flaws in the ruins and stop the three void god realm kings from expanding them. Therefore, Zhao Feng would occasionally merge with the towering tree Yao's with spirit essence soul and use his Eye of Heaven to control group after group of beasts. The power of the Eye of Heaven was extremely strong. Every time it was used, one could see everything within 1,000 miles and tame several hundred beasts at the true spirit realm without any difficulty. Relatively speaking, Zhao Feng's task was easier. He would only occasionally use the Eye of Heaven to control beasts or search for abnormalities in the ruins. The rest of the time, Zhao Feng would sit on a branch of the towering tree Yao and comprehend with his eyes closed. After the previous battle, Zhao Feng had comprehended a new Eye Bloodline technique, and his Eye Bloodline power had become stronger. Unknowingly, Zhao Feng's soul power was comparable to an origin core realm. With the help of the towering tree Yao and the Eye of Heaven, his control over heaven and earth was stronger than before. There seemed to be an invisible whirlpool where Zhao Feng sat, and the heaven-earth yuan qi uncontrollably flowed toward him. It was as if he had placed his heart into heaven and earth. At this point in time, Zhao Feng was slowly reaching the origin core realm, and his cultivation speed was 100 times faster than the azure flower continent. The purple saint partial spirit could feel that Zhao Feng's cultivation was increasing bit by bit. Essence, qi, and spirit become one, harmonizing with nature. Zhao Feng suddenly remembered a familiar intent that he had learned from Xian Wuheng. Xian Wuheng's mysterious state was actually similar to the primal core realm state. In other words, Xian Wuheng's intent was a simplified version of the intent of the origin core realm. See. Zhao Feng couldn't help but take a deep breath. Could it be that Xian Wuheng had comprehended the shortcut to the origin core realm a long time ago? If that was the case, it would be countless times easier for Xian Wuheng to break through to the origin core realm. What kind of secret did Xian Wuheng have? Zhao Feng had a feeling that Xian Wuheng hadn't returned after entering the Heaven's Legacy inheritance. According to his performance at the Sacred True Dragon Gathering, Xian Wuheng's goal was the Heaven's Legacy inheritance, and he seemed to understand it better than others. Within the ruins, Zhao Feng could still cultivate when he was free, but the skeletal division leader and the little thieving cat were busy. The skeletal division leader had to set up the array and refine the cursed ghost corpses. The little thieving cat had always been a supervisor, and its status could not be replaced. Only it had the ability to communicate with so many beasts and make them do all kinds of work. Right now, it's extremely important to finish the 100 corpse plan. It can greatly increase our battle power. Zhao Feng gave a suggestion to the Purple Saint Partial Spirit after analyzing for a long time. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit soon made a decision and told Zhao Yufei to stop refining the core and take over the skeletal division leader's job. Although Zhao Yufei didn't know how to set up an array, the Purple Saint Partial Spirit could contact her at any time. This way, the skeletal division leader could enter the 10,000 Ghost Pearl and refine the cursed ghost corpses. Time passed by slowly. The number of cursed ghost corpses in the 10,000 Ghost Pearl kept on increasing. 15, 16, 17, 20. The main material of the cursed ghost corpses came from the true Lord rank corpses of the 100 Graves Forbidden Ground and were the source of the power of curses. On the other side, the three Void God Realm Kings unleashed their magnificent power and started to enter the mysterious canyon. Fortunately, there were many repair formations and energy-gathering formations here, speeding up the repair of the holes and flaws. Zhao Feng sat cross-legged on the towering tree Yao and cultivated. He didn't need to do it himself, but he could occasionally use his Eye of Heaven to tame the beasts. The power of my soul is comparable to a sovereign right now, and I've touched the intent of a sovereign. When I reach the peak True Lord rank, I'll be able to reach the half-step origin core realm in one step. Zhao Feng spent most of his time on comprehension. A month passed in the blink of an eye. Within the 10,000 Ghost Pearl, the skeletal division leader had refined 10 new cursed ghost corpses. In total, there were 25 cursed ghost corpses. 1/4 of the 100 corpse plan had been completed. With 10 more ghost corpses, the ghost corpse cursed array's power will definitely increase. Normal half-step origin core realms won't be able to leave. The skeletal division leader was extremely confident. In the limitless ocean, on the mountain. The aura of the spatial splitting array in the air was even more complete. At the core of the array, a layer of faint silver cracks formed a rippling cave. It was so deep that one couldn't see the end of it. 3 kings, the cave has stabilized and can send a group of people into the Purple Saint ruins. However, the strongest expert is a small origin core realm leader, and the number of people is limited. Grandmaster Yin Kong said tiredly. The eyes of the 3 Void God Realm kings twinkled as they discussed. Send a powerful venerable, the kind that can crush several ordinary venerables. The golden skeleton suggested. Hee, that's right. Although the skeleton in the ruins is also at the origin core realm, it's very weak. The demonic Tao King licked his lips. The 2 Void God Realm kings from the Black Cliff Palace and Moon Demon Palace both suggested sending origin core realms from their sections. Sending experts into the Purple Saint ruins was a matter of their sex benefits. 3 lords, let me go. Grand Elder, I alone am enough to deal with that skeleton and that blue-haired brat. Some of the sovereigns below were tempted to try and even volunteered to do it. This was a great opportunity to make a great contribution. Indeed. The battle power of sovereigns from 2-star sects definitely surpassed normal sovereigns from the Azure Flower continent. Some of the sovereigns present could kill several of the skeletal division leaders' strength. Chapter 544. As for the candidate of the Venerable, the 3 major sects all suggested experts from their own side. Even the 2 Void God Realm kings from the Golden Skeleton had recommended someone. We didn't achieve the desired result in the previous path. The leader of the first team to be sent in must be able to gain a firm foothold in the relic. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess' cold eyes scanned through the crowd. Stand firm. The other 2 kings couldn't help but think. Being able to gain a firm foothold was not necessarily based on one's combat power. To lead a group of people into the Purple Saint ruins and successfully set up camp, there were many factors such as strength, intelligence, ability to plan and so on. Martial Ant, leave this mission to me. In the crowd, a slightly chubby youth with a lazy look suddenly spoke. This slightly fat youth's cultivation had reached the origin core realm, and his aura was even more terrifying than normal sovereigns. Lu Tianyi. Many experts of the 3 sects noticed Lu Tianyi and revealed a strange expression, feeling fear in their hearts. Although Lu Tianyi had just become a sovereign, his master was a Void God Realm king, and his inheritance surpassed normal sovereigns. Apparently, when Lu Tianyi was at the half-step origin core realm, he was barely able to fight against a sovereign. He had recently broken through to the origin core realm and defeated several sovereigns of the older generation. No one doubted Lu Tianyi's battle power, and since he was the disciple of a king, he should have some powerful hidden cards. Tianyi. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess's gaze landed on Lu Tianyi and she shook her head with a faint smile. I don't doubt your strength, but as the leader of the first group to enter the ruins, you're not the best choice. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess rejected Lu Tianyi without any hesitation. Lu Tianyi was unwilling, but he couldn't change the will of a Void God Realm king. Looks like the Saint Moon Ant Goddess already has a choice. The Golden Skeleton and the demonic Tao King looked at each other. As expected. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess's gaze fell on a woman dressed in a blue palace robe that was as gentle as water. Elder Shui Yun. The blue-robed woman was dignified and gentle, and her beauty was otherworldly. Her skin was tender and white like a baby's, flawless snow white, as if she didn't belong to this world. Instantly, everyone's gazes locked onto the blue-clothed woman, Elder Shui Yun. Some of the men found it hard to conceal the shock in their eyes. Looking at the crowd, Elder Shui Yun was indeed a peerless beauty. Is that her? The eyebrows of the other two Void God Realm kings furrowed, but they understood after thinking about it. Elder Shui Yun is a famous doctor of the Tianlu Islands. She is especially skilled in treatment. It's said that Elder Shui Yun's team has gone through many dangerous 6th-rank missions and returned with 0 casualties, breaking the 10,000-year record. Everyone discussed animatedly. In the beginning, some people were doubtful. After all, this Elder Shui Yun was a sovereign in the Pure Moon spiritual sect, and the first mission should have been given to someone who was good at fighting. This woman is quite capable. The golden skeleton and the demonic Tao King thought for a moment but didn't object. According to the Saint Moon Ant Goddess's arrangements, the first batch of teams to enter the ruins had to stand firm. The main point was the word stability. Elder Shui Yun's fighting prowess isn't bad amongst the sovereigns. She's adept at coordination, so her teams rarely suffer any casualties. After some discussion, the experts of the 3 sects agreed with Elder Shui Yun. Apart from Elder Shui Yun, another 4 half-step origin core realms and more than a dozen peak true lord ranks were confirmed. There was also a round of discussion and competition among the candidates for these experts. Finally, a group of almost 20 people stood in front of the cave and prepared to leave. Mysterious Canyon. Zhao Feng sat cross-legged on the towering tree Yao and would use the eye of heaven every once in a while to scan the entire area and search around. Over the last couple of days, he was comprehending a new eye bloodline technique, spatial movement. Spatial movement referred to taking something from the air and moving it into the dimension of his left eye. When he first used this eye bloodline technique, it took a lot of energy out of Zhao Feng's body. Even though his comprehension and control had increased, the energy it took was only slightly lower. Luckily, Zhao Feng's soul power was comparable to a sovereign, and his mental energy had touched the level of a sovereign, so he could use this technique many times. Recently, Zhao Feng's understanding of spatial movement had improved. Shua. With a thought, a drop of origin life force appeared in Zhao Feng's hand. So, objects that were taken into the dimension of his left eye could be taken out again. Shua. Zhao Feng once again circulated his god's spiritual eye and the drop of origin life force disappeared. In the next instant, the drop of origin life force appeared half a mile away. There was no trace of this movement, it was a spatial ability. The dimension of my left eye is like a transfer station. I can take an object in and then quickly move it to another place. Zhao Feng smiled faintly. Because spatial movement expended a lot of energy, he could only practice it 4 or 5 times a day to maintain his peak state. This was because Zhao Feng didn't know what the 3 sects would do next. That afternoon, Zhao Feng closed his eyes and prepared to practice spatial movement again. His god's spiritual eye suddenly felt a disturbance in space that came from the center of the mysterious canyon. The disturbance this time was extremely strong. It was as if a weird power of space was forcefully breaking through. Zhao Feng, watch out. Some experts are being sent in through the spatial array. The purple Saint Partial Spirit's voice sounded in Zhao Feng's mind. At the same time, the skeletal division leader, the little thieving cat, and Zhao Yufei also received the news. No one panicked. They were prepared to fight at any moment. When in the center of the mysterious canyon, a hole was torn open. Inside was a hazy silver mist. The powerful aura and spatial fluctuations directly destroyed the nearby trees. Beings weaker than the origin core realm would be instantly devoured if they were in this area. So. Many experts leaped out of the spatial cracks one after another. The weakest among them was at the peak True Lord rank, and they were all stronger than Tiamat. 1 sovereign, 4 half-step origin core realms, and 13 peak True Lord ranks. Zhao Feng's God's spiritual eye saw everything clearly from afar. The leader of this group was a female sovereign in a blue dress. She seemed weak, but she was a peerless beauty. Zhe, the 3 sects are pretty generous to send in a beauty. The skeletal division leader walked out of the 10,000 ghost pearl. When the hole that was torn open in space quickly disappeared after this group of people entered. There's only one venerable. Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader let out a breath after finding out the enemy's situation. It wasn't hard to imagine that the void cave's carrying capacity was limited. It could only carry 1 supreme expert at a time. Elder Shui Yun, Zhao Feng's over there. An ethereal and pure beauty in the group turned her bright eyes toward Zhao Feng. She seemed to be very familiar with the terrain and immediately spotted Zhao Feng. Yi Yanyu. Zhao Feng paused for a moment as he looked at the familiar figure. At this moment in time, Yi Yanyu's face was cold, and she didn't hide the killing intent in her heart. If it weren't for the fact that there was an origin core realm next to Zhao Feng, Yi Yanyu would have killed him already. After 3 years, Yi Yanyu's cultivation had increased by leaps and bounds, and she was even stronger than Lu Tianyi from back then. Yanyu, let's not attack yet. Elder Shui Yun smiled and gave off a strange aura that calmed Yi Yanyu's heart. Next, Elder Shui Yun commanded everyone to attack and destroy the repair and energy-gathering arrays nearby. Rumble. Some of the formations in the surrounding area were easily destroyed by the group of experts. Their efficiency was so high that it left one speechless. Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader were both surprised. As expected, the group of experts from the 3 sects didn't attack the 2 of them immediately after entering the ruins. One had to know. Zhao Feng and company were only 1 mile away from Elder Shui Yun's group. Immediately after, Elder Shui Yun ordered some experts to set up a formation here. These people are ignoring us. The skeletal division leader's expression was grim. It wasn't scared since there was only 1 sovereign. Zhao Feng, those people probably want to take root here and set up a spatial array to connect to the void cave in the outside world. At that time, there won't be any restrictions on how many experts the 3 sects can send in. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit said urgently. Go. Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader charged toward the group without hesitation. Elder Shui Yun. They're here. Yi Yanyu's voice was filled with urgency. Prepare for battle. Elder Shui Yun pursed her lips and smiled. Her warm aura made people's hearts beat faster and make them feel inferior. Zhao Feng. Leave that bitch to me. You'll be in charge of the Ghost Corp's cursed array. The flames in the skeletal division leader's eye sockets jumped with excitement. Zhao Feng nodded his head as a black flag appeared in his hand. Hu Shua. Within a radius of 1,000 feet, a thick, dark gray cloud suddenly formed. The powerful death ghost corpse chi sealed off the entire area. There were a total of 25 cursed ghost corpses in the billowing gray smoke, arranged in a specific formation. Zhao Feng didn't attack rashly. Instead, he waved the black flag and pushed the power of the ghost corpse cursed array toward the 3 sections. So, right at this moment, the skeletal division leader flew into the air and waved its hand. The Heaven-Earth Yuan Chi trembled as a gold and silver bone claw leaped toward Elder Shui Yun. Sovereign versus sovereign. The skeletal division leader's target was Elder Shui Yun. After such a long period of rest, the skeletal division leader's strength was almost back to its peak. This attack was enough to kill a half-step origin core realm from the Azure Flower continent. Don't even think about it. Yi Yanyu and company harumphed coldly and prepared to stop it. Let me. Elder Shui Yun smiled as she waved her hand. A deep blue bubble with a dreamy glow appeared in Elder Shui Yun's hand. Crack! The bubble expanded to dozens of yards wide and seemed light, but it was extremely heavy. It seemed to gather all the water yuan qi in the air and instantly shattered the gold and silver bone claw. This power and profound intent made both Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader jump up in fright. Go! Elder Shui Yun waved her hand again, and the half-dimmed bubble shattered, turning into a dark blue stream of water that sent the skeletal division leader flying half a mile away. Chapter 545. As the two sovereigns clashed, it was obvious who was stronger. Elder Shui Yun casually waved her hand, and the dreamy water bubble sent the skeletal division leader flying. Zhao Feng was surprised as he stood in the center of the ghost corpse cursed array. Bitch! The skeletal division leader's scream sounded as it struggled to climb up from the ground. This was because the skeletal division leader had half the mastery of the bone refining art. Its body was extremely strong, and it could ignore attacks from half-step sovereigns. Elder Shui Yun's strength definitely surpasses a normal sovereign's since she was sent here by the three sections. She must also have some other special abilities. Zhao Feng's expression was solemn. He wasn't surprised that the skeletal division leader had lost, but the difference in strength was shocking. Although the skeletal division leader hadn't recovered to its peak, it had the strength of a complete origin core realm. However, it was sent flying in one move. Ha ha ha. That skeleton can't even take a single blow. The experts of the three sects laughed in the outside world. The morale of the group led by Elder Shui Yun rose dramatically. Elder Shui Yun. Let's go and kill Zhao Feng and that skeleton. Then everything will be fine. Yi Yanyu and the other experts in the team were tempted to give it a try. There's no rush. Elder Shui Yun stood where she was. Her clothes were spotless, and there were ripples on her body, making her seem beautiful and calm. Her clear eyes turned and descended onto the surging dark clouds of smoke that pressed down towards them. This was the power of the ghost corpse cursed array. Zhao Feng couldn't help but sigh. This Elder Shui Yun is very calm. She didn't chase after the skeletal division leader. If it was someone like Lu Tianyi, he would have probably chased after the skeletal division leader. After all, the glory and effect of killing a venerable one seemed to be very great. Little did they know that this would give Zhao Feng a chance. As long as Elder Shui Yun chased after the skeletal division leader, Zhao Feng would kill the others. Whoosh! The skeletal division leader charged through the air once again and waved its gold and silver whip. Bone dragons that were dozens of yards long pounced toward Elder Shui Yun. For a moment, the heaven and earth yuan qi within a 10-mile radius roared and shook, forming a boundless power of nature. The strength of a venerable was on full display. Go! Zhao Feng waved the black flag, and dark gray clouds formed into giant gray tentacles that radiated a terrifying aura of resentment that tried to corrode the people around Elder Shui Yun. Insignificant skill. Yi Yanyu and the rest of the half-step martial highness realm cultivators were fearless as they unleashed their moves. Puff puff, as soon as the power of the ghost corpse cursed formation seeped into it, it was shattered by the power of the various light phantoms. Even those peak True Lord ranks had the battle prowess of a half-step origin core realm expert of the Azure Flower continent. As for Yi Yanyu and the other three half-step sovereigns, each of them could match up to 2 or 3 half-step sovereigns in the Azure Flower continent. If these 4 half-step exalts joined forces, they could even go against an exalt. These people are probably the elites of the same level in a 2-star sect. Zhao Feng couldn't help but take a deep breath. He was well aware of how powerful the ghost corpse cursed formation was. The 25 cursed ghost corpses radiated a terrifying power of resentment that could kill normal True Lord ranks, and those at the half-step origin core realm wouldn't be able to leave. Boom! An explosion sounded in the air, and a gust of cold wind swept across a dozen miles. Bitch! The skeletal division leader's body was sent flying once more. Wu Zhaofeng's ghost corpse cursed array had covered a radius of 1 to 2 miles, and more than half of it had disappeared. Its expression changed dramatically, and it quickly stabilized the array. The skeletal division leader had been completely crushed by the two sovereigns. Ha ha ha. Everyone in Elder Shui Yun's group raised their heads and laughed with disdain. Yi Yanyu and company were filled with battle intent, and they almost charged into the ghost corpse cursed formation to kill Zhao Feng. Stop! Elder Shui Yun exclaimed as she stopped Yi Yanyu and company once more. Elder Shui Yun, we have the absolute advantage. Why don't we just kill these two? One of the half-step origin core realm experts asked. Absolute advantage? That's not necessarily true. Elder Shui Yun's face was calm as she analyzed, this is the Purple Saint Ruins, the enemy's territory. Furthermore, the real threat isn't this origin core realm skeleton, but that Zhao Feng. At this moment, the skeletal division leader crawled up from the ground. It was probably injured. This time, the skeletal division leader walked over to the ghost corpse cursed array and didn't dare to attack again. It was extremely wary of Elder Shui Yun. If it weren't for the fact that it was wary of Zhao Feng, it wouldn't be hard for Elder Shui Yun to kill the skeletal division leader. Zhao Feng, the head-on clash between sovereigns will increase the number of openings. The Purple Saint Partial Spirit warned. Hearing this, Zhao Feng's heart dropped, and he couldn't help but overestimate Elder Shui Yun. Elder Shui Yun's grasp of the situation was extremely clear. She focused on stability and didn't care about the small gains or losses. In the outside world, on a mountain. Within the image, the two sides faced each other. Elder Shui Yun and the 20 or so others clashed with the gray mist. Yi Yanyu and company, along with 4 half-step origin core realm experts, broke through the ghost corpse cursed formation. Elder Shui Yun is indeed very stable. The team that she leads has almost 0 casualties every time. It can be said that she never misses anything. The experts of the 3 sects couldn't help but sigh. Pure water, sacred flower. Elder Shui Yun's jade-like hand suddenly waved, and a wave of blue raindrops landed on Yi Yanyu and company. Some of the experts that had been carelessly eroded by the air of death and the power of hatred were instantly healed. They were completely new. The entire group was filled with life, and no one was injured. What? The hearts of Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader jumped. She saw through it. Although Zhao Feng's ghost corpse cursed formation didn't seem to threaten Yi Yanyu and company, the power of hatred and curse was slowly seeping into them. The power of hatred and curse wasn't much of a threat. However, as time passed, the essence of these people would be eroded and their battle power would decrease dramatically. With such a powerful healing technique, anyone in her group will be able to survive as long as they aren't instantly killed. The skeletal division leader was shocked. The two started to realize that Elder Shui Yun wasn't a normal sovereign. If I'm not wrong, she's a support-type sovereign. She doesn't specialize in fighting, and she doesn't need to. She just needs to stabilize herself and wait for more experts to come. Zhao Feng suddenly realized that something wasn't right. Not far away, Elder Shui Yun had a charming smile on her face. She looked pure and holy, beautiful, and dignified. Time passed by slowly. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader controlled the ghost corpse cursed formation, but they couldn't do anything to Elder Shui Yun. In this period of time, both Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader tried to use a secret technique. In the end, Elder Shui Yun didn't let anything through. Every member of her group was unharmed. As long as Zhao Feng and company stopped attacking, Elder Shui Yun would try to create an array to connect to the outside world. Outside Mountain Peak. Elder Shui Yun has stabilized herself. She'll be able to send the next batch of people in 10 days. Grandmaster Yin Kong smiled and said. Everyone admired Elder Shui Yun's calmness. Indeed, if Elder Shui Yun used her full strength, she had a 70 to 80% chance of killing Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader. However, doing that in the unknown Purple Saint ruins was still risky. On the other hand, Elder Shui Yun's goal was to deal with the enemies with the least amount of casualties. Tian. 10 days from now, when the sky cave stabilizes again, you will lead a group of people to reinforce Elder Shui Yun. The Saint Moon Ant Goddess's gaze fell on Lu Tianyi. Thank you, Martial Ant. Lu Tianyi was overjoyed. He knew that the Saint Moon Ant Goddess had left this opportunity to kill the enemy for him. After all, Elder Shui Yun was a logistician, so she was rather conservative. Once she stabilized her position, Lu Tianyi, a radical militant, would naturally be the best match for her. Purple Saint Ruins, Mysterious Canyon. The pressure on Zhao Feng and the skeletal division leader increased. This Elder Shui Yun is like an egg that can be easily exploited. The skeletal division leader cried. Zhao Feng's eyes flickered indeterminately. Finally, he sighed and said, "Looks like I have to exhaust all means." Zhao Feng. If you have any tricks up your sleeves, you'd better take them out as soon as possible. Otherwise, when the next batch of reinforcements from the 3 sects arrives. The skeletal division leader's expression became weird. Swoosh. In a flash, Zhao Feng disappeared from the ghost corpse cursed array. Skeletal division leader, from now on, all you need to do is control the ghost corpse cursed array and stall these people. When the voice sounded, Zhao Feng had already arrived on top of the towering tree Yao. Why did you run again? The skeletal division leader's scalp went numb. It was under a lot of pressure to block Elder Shui Yun's group alone. Luckily, Elder Shui Yun only glanced at Zhao Feng and didn't target the skeletal division leader's ghost corpse cursed array. The skeletal division leader waved the black flag and summoned the ghost corpse cursed array to attack the invaders. However, with Elder Shui Yun, 4 half-step sovereigns, and more than a dozen peak true lord ranks working together, the skeletal division leader's attack was obviously ineffective. What is this Zhao Feng planning? The skeletal division leader cursed in its heart. Right at this moment, the skeletal division leader felt a heavy mental energy pressure weighing down on its head. Elder Shui Yun's group couldn't help but raise their heads and jump up in fright. Shua. A translucent blue eye of heaven appeared in the sky and looked down coldly at the people below. In the group, everyone felt an irresistible pressure, and their minds became heavy. What a strong mental energy aura. Is Zhao Feng's soul comparable to a sovereign? Elder Shui Yun's expression changed and she felt uneasy. In the sky, the eye of heaven revealed a hint of cruelty and coldness. The mental pressure from the void was boundlessly majestic, continuously gathering and rising, condensing and suppressing this part of the world. Zhao Feng's soul was now comparable to a sovereign, and after merging with the wood spirit essence soul, it was slightly stronger than normal small origin core realms. In theory, in this state, Zhao Feng could look down on normal sovereigns with his eye bloodline. Chapter 546. Eye of Illusion, Illusion City Maze. The eye of heaven in the sky was blue and transparent, and there was an invisible whirlpool within it that created a fatal attractive force. With the support of the Origin Core Realm's eye bloodline power, the illusion spread through the air and covered heaven and earth. Shua. The experts of the 3 sects couldn't fight back at all, and their minds shook. In the next instant, the scene within the mysterious canyon no longer existed. The surging gray smoke also disappeared from his sight. Everyone was now in a desolate ancient city. The ancient city was shrouded in endless white mist. The terrain of the city was complicated, like a huge maze. Apart from Elder Shui Yun, who seemed to be struggling, everyone else was affected by the illusion and lost their sense of direction and self in the maze. The skeletal division leader's eyes lit up. What a powerful mental energy illusion technique. This was the chance. The skeletal division leader waved the black flag and pushed the power of the ghost corpse cursed array toward the group of 3 sections. The dark mist containing the power of the curse successfully reached the group of 3 sections. Yi Yanyu and the others couldn't help but groan. Although they were in the illusion city maze, they instinctively circulated their qi of true spirit to protect themselves as they were attacked by the death qi and curse. At this point in time, only Elder Shui Yun was able to block the power of the illusion city maze. In the outside world, on a mountain, not good. The expressions of the experts of the 3 sects changed dramatically as they looked at the scene in the image. What a powerful mental energy illusion. That Zhao Feng merged with the ancient tree Yao and used an eye bloodline technique that can threaten even sovereigns. Even some of the supremacies were frightened. This was because Elder Shui Yun was considered strong amongst those at the small origin core realm, and she specialized in defense. If even Elder Shui Yun could barely block Zhao Feng's mental energy eye bloodline technique, then some of the sovereigns present might fall. The stalemate was broken at this moment. Zhao Feng's soul power was comparable to a sovereign's, and after merging with the wood spirit essence soul, it was slightly stronger than normal small origin core realms. Under the eye of heaven, the power of Zhao Feng's eye bloodline technique was amplified to a certain extent. Therefore, Zhao Feng used his eye of heaven to instantly place the group from the 3 sects in danger. Phew! Under the corrosion of the ghost corpse cursed array, the peak true lord ranks of the 3 sects group were injured and their mental energy was depleted. Ha! Zhao Feng, if you have such a powerful move, why didn't you use it earlier? The skeletal division leader waved the black flag and summoned waves of gray smoke that tried to engulf the group of the 3 sections. He purposely directed the power toward Elder Shui Yun. Of course, the skeletal division leader didn't consider the fact that Zhao Feng was holding back because he didn't know how many terrifying methods the Void God Realm Kings had up their sleeves. Under such circumstances, it was naturally better to preserve as much strength as possible. Earth-rank divine weapon. Aqua meteorite pearl. Elder Shui Yun opened her mouth and spat out a damaged water droplet that was around the size of a goose egg. The jade-green water droplet was coiled with a layer of gorgeous and deep water ripples, and it surged with a majestic and tranquil aura of water. The moment the pearl appeared, all the spiritual rank divine armaments present trembled in fear. This girl has an incomplete earth-grade weapon. The skeletal division leader exclaimed. The power of the ghost corpse cursed array was absorbed by an immeasurable power as soon as it got close. When with the naked eye, all that could be seen was a beautiful and deep rippling world of light. It was 100 zhang in diameter, and it enveloped the 3 sects teams. In the team, some of the experts in the illusory city maze showed signs of struggle. This damaged earth-grade weapon has the effect of calming the mind? Zhao Feng's vision was in the sky and he noticed something. Green sky water border. Elder Shui Yun waved her hand and the rippling barrier completely stabilized. It gave off a green light and a powerful aura that blocked the ghost corpse cursed array's power from entering. Finish it all. Elder Shui Yun let out a breath. So that's how it is. The skeletal division leader's heart dropped. Zhao Feng's mental energy illusion was extremely strong, and it pushed the group into despair. However, Elder Shui Yun was also smart enough to use a support earth-grade weapon. Although it wasn't a complete earth-grade weapon, it had a strong water-type defensive power. With the protection of the green sky water border, even those at the origin core realm won't be able to break through. This way, even though my illusion city maze can affect everyone, it won't be able to threaten anyone's life. It'll just waste my eye bloodline power. Zhao Feng's expression changed. Elder Shui Yun didn't try to break through Zhao Feng's mental energy illusion. After all, the latter's eye bloodline power and soul bloodline power weren't simple. However, she used this silent defensive stance to ignore Zhao Feng's mental energy illusion. Furthermore, In the Eye of Heaven state, Zhao Feng's eye bloodline power was extremely strong, and he definitely wouldn't be able to fight her for long. Hee, worthy of being an elite sovereign from a 2-star sect. A light laugh sounded in the soul dimension. Shua. The Eye of Heaven in the clouds suddenly disappeared. Elder Shui Yun let out a breath. However, before she could calm down, an even bigger Eye of Heaven appeared in the air. The higher one stood, the further one could see. At this moment, Zhao Feng's vision was extremely far, and he could almost see the entire Purple Saint ruins. What is this Zhao Feng playing at? The skeletal division leader murmured in its heart. Everyone, including Elder Shui Yun, didn't understand. Begin. A cold and indifferent voice echoed in the void. In the next instant, a boundless mental energy aura with the Eye of Heaven as the center spread across heaven and earth. Roar. Woo. Sai. The howls of beasts came from 1,000 miles away. This was especially so for the mysterious canyon. Many demonic beast hordes nearby charged at the 3 sects teams. Boom, the ground shook, and dust covered the sky. Countless demonic beasts of all sizes covered the sky and covered the earth. So many. Yi Yanyu and company woke up from their stupor and couldn't help but exclaim as they looked at the dust. Within their vision, hundreds and thousands of beasts charged toward the group without fear of death. Fight! The hearts of Yi Yanyu and the others shuddered as they unleashed all kinds of secret arts to kill the endless beast horde. Many of the beasts were injured or killed. Even when they got close, they were blocked by the green sky water border and couldn't threaten the group. Elder Shui Yun found that most of the beasts that were being controlled were in groups, and some had even charged into the Ghost Corp's cursed array. It was obvious. These beasts became nourishment for the Ghost Corp's cursed array, causing its power to increase dramatically. The dark smoke of the Ghost Corp's cursed array became thicker, and a blood-colored flame started to rise. In particular, the invisible power of the curse had even faintly seeped into the azure sky water boundary. At the same time, flashes of golden light appeared in the air along with the screeching of birds. That's... Elder Shui Yun's eyes narrowed as shock appeared on her face for the first time. In the sky, several thousand golden lightning birds formed a super flock that surged over from the distance. The weakest of these golden lightning birds were at the 6th sky of the ascended realm. Those at the true spirit realm were the main force, and there were dozens of true lord ranks as well. Among the many thunderbirds, there was a supremacy-level monster king with a terrifying aura that stirred up the heaven-earth essence chi. The Monster King was a giant golden feathered thunderbird that was more than 40 to 50 zhang in length. It was like a small mountain, and wherever it passed, it left a huge shadow. A venerable level demonic beast tribe leader. The hearts of Yi Yanyu and the others shook. They could feel the sky filled with lightning and ear-piercing screeches. Their blood and chi surged. What's going on? That Zhao Feng can control such a large beast horde. How did he control so many beasts at once? The experts of the 3 sects were flabbergasted. There were thousands of golden lightning birds in the image. Apart from the sovereign golden lightning bird king, there were dozens of true lord rank golden lightning birds and several hundred at the true spirit realm. Chio! Chio! The golden thunderbirds shuttled through the sky, and golden arcs of lightning that were as thin as needles and threads slashed down. Boom! Boom! The azure sky water border that protected the 3 sects teams rippled and dimmed bit by bit. Rumble! An enormous wave of lightning that shook the world burst forth from the body of the golden-feathered Thunderbird King. That was the attack of a sovereign. The skeletal division leader's heart shook. The battle power of the golden-feathered lightning bird king was even stronger than it was at its peak. Boom! When the green sky water border shook as wisps of lightning seeped in and numbed the bodies of the 3 sections. How did Xiao Feng control such a large beast horde and the other beasts in the canyon? The skeletal division leader's heart shook. Of course. He didn't forget to attack. The Ghost Corpse Curse Array absorbed a massive amount of monster beast blood essence and souls, causing its strength to rise dramatically. Combined with the flock of golden thunderbirds in the sky, it finally began to suppress the blue sky-water boundary. At this moment in time, the situation had reversed. The Eye of Heaven controlled the flying beasts that covered half the sky. The king of a beast horde can order the entire horde. In the sky, the Eye of Heaven looked down at the ground with a cold and mocking expression. So, Xiao Feng's control this time was focused on the king of the beasts. The largest was the golden-feathered lightning bird flock, a peak beast flock in the Purple Saint ruins. The king of this group of beasts was the venerable level golden-feathered thunderbird king. With Xiao Feng's current eye bloodline power and the wood spirit essence soul, he could easily control the golden lightning bird king with the Eye of Heaven. The reason why he chose this horde was because of their agility and long-range attacks. Such a terrifying beast horde could destroy any force under a one-star sect and sweep across a large country or several strong countries in the Azure Flower continent. Boom! The golden lightning bird king attacked a few more times, and the ghost corpse cursed array's pressure caused the green sky water border to dim by more than half, and cracks appeared on its surface. Prepare to retreat. Elder Shui Yun's face went pale white as she gritted her teeth and ordered. At this moment, she couldn't control the green sky water border anymore. You're tuning into the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.